Oh, this feels so good. I squeal with delight, running my fingers through my freshly washed hair. It's so clean, so smooth, like silk slipping through my fingertips. The scent is divine, a burst of peppermint wrapped in a soft, floral breeze that dances around me. I can't stop smelling it. Eris, what is this shampoo? I love it. I practically bounce where I stand, excitement bubbling in my chest. I mean, sure, it could have used more lather and foam, but honestly, this stuff is way better than anything I used in my past life. Then again, I was a man back then. My shampoo game probably wasn't the strongest. How was I so oblivious to the wonders of shampoo? Let me see. Eris picks up the bottle and squints at the label like a detective piecing together a mystery. It's called Lavendula Cleanse, made with lavender, rubicage, rosemary, slickberry extract, and Levinus root. I used to gather tons of this in dungeons. Grind it up, soak it, filter it, and bam, instant soap. That's amazing. I breathe, genuinely impressed. A plant that just makes soap? That's like fantasy world cheat code level. This world is nothing like the medieval times I read about on Earth. Fashion is stylish and expressive. The food is delicious. Hygiene isn't just a thing. It's practically luxurious. They have hot baths, real conditioner, and apparently gourmet shampoo made from dungeon plants. What else is out there? Magical toothbrushes? Self-heating blankets? Eris grins, clearly proud. Right? I'm not a soap master or anything, but I think they just blend essential oils into Leventis soap and Tata shampoo. But the balance must be tricky, right? I muse, arching a brow. It can't be that easy. Oh, for sure. It's like cooking fish. Too much salt and it's ruined. She laughs, her tail swishing behind her in amusement. I can't help but laugh with her. Somehow, talking about soap and fish feels oddly natural. While we chat, Eris pulls out a small wooden jar, popping the lid open to reveal a thick, creamy substance. Is that conditioner? I ask, curiosity piqued. Yep, this baby makes your hair even shinier. She holds it up like she's showing me a rare treasure. I lean in and sniff it. Not quite what I expected. Where the shampoo was fresh and minty, this smells off. Bitter, even? You know, Eris says, mischief sparking in her eyes. This conditioner? You can eat it. What? I blink. Totally. She beams. There's this old tale about a soap merchant trapped in a dungeon. Ran out of food. Survived for days just eating conditioner. My jaw drops. That's insane. You're messing with me. Swear it, she giggles. It's just Levinus root and animal fat. Totally edible. I eye the jar. Then Eris. Then the jar again. I know I shouldn't, but curiosity wins. I dip my finger in and give the tiniest lick. Instant regret. Bleach. I gag, spitting it out like it's poison. Bitter. Slimy. The texture alone makes me want to cry. Eris, you tricked me. I howl, furiously wiping my tongue. She's howling with laughter now, doubled over, tears forming in her eyes. I told you it was edible, not that it tasted good. Ugh, take it away. I shove the jar at her like it personally betrayed me, pouting like a child cheated at a carnival game. Okay, she says through giggles. Time to condition your hair for real. The moment her fingers massage the cream into my scalp, all is forgiven. Her touch is gentle, soothing. Each pass through my hair feels like a blessing. My shoulders drop, a peaceful sigh slipping out of me. By the time she rinses it out, I touch my hair again, and it's so silky. I twirl a lock around my finger, eyes wide in wonder. It's like liquid silk. Told ya. Eris says, looking smug. And an NGH. I nod, grinning like a fool. It's funny. I never cared about my hair before. But now, I'm obsessed. Maybe it's because I'm a girl now. Everything feels new and exciting. I gush over cute things, get flustered more easily, and apparently squeal a lot. It's a little embarrassing, but also kind of fun. One thing hasn't changed, though. I still like girls. That part's solid. Suddenly, blee! I whip around just in time to see Eris spitting dramatically, tongue out like she bit into a lemon. Wait, what? I stare at her in disbelief. I was curious too, she wails, scrubbing at her tongue. Gah, that was awful. I told you it was gross. I burst out laughing, practically collapsing with how hard I'm laughing. After a few more dramatic gags and exaggerated regret, she manages to catch her breath and grins. All right, let's get that back scrubbed. Okay. I chirp, still giggling as I turn around. The warm towel presses gently to my skin, and Eris's touch is firm yet kind. The soft rhythm of her motions sends a pleasant tingle down my spine, and I melt into the warmth, sighing happily. This is really nice. Eris is gently scrubbing my back with a warm towel, her motions steady and comforting when she suddenly pauses. A quiet stillness settles in, then I feel it. Her fingers. A single, slow stroke traces down the center of my spine, feather-light and deliberate. Eek! I squeal, jerking upright as a bolt of something electric shoots through me. My heart lurches into overdrive, muscles tensing as if startled awake. The echo of her touch lingers, a ghostly warmth spreading across my skin in delicate waves. Eris goes still. Her hand hovers midair, fingers curling back slightly, as if she's catching herself in the middle of an impulse. I glance over my shoulder and catch a flicker of guilt in her expression. Ah, I'm sorry, she says quietly. Your skin is just so smooth. I guess I got carried away. It's the most perfect skin I've ever seen. Her words hit harder than I expect. My face floods with heat, cheeks flaring as my breath hitches in my throat. My heart does a little flip, tumbling helplessly inside my chest. Oh, I murmur, voice barely above a whisper. The memory of her touch still dances across my back, refusing to fade. The silence stretches, thick and uncertain, and I fidget beneath her gaze. I didn't mean to make things weird, she adds, softer now, eyes dipping downward. If you want me to stop, I will. There's something fragile in her voice, hesitant, like she's worried she crossed a line she can't uncross. That vulnerability tugs at me. I bite my lip, pulse fluttering. It's okay, I say after a beat. You can touch me, if you want. I shift slightly, just enough for my back to brush against her hand again, hoping the small gesture says what I can't. Eris inhales a sharp, startled breath. But this time, she's the one who pulls back. Huh? What's wrong? I glance back at her. In nothing, she stammers quickly, shaking her head like she's trying to reboot her brain. Then, slowly, she leans closer again, the hesitation melting from her voice. Well, if you insist, I will touch you now. Why, yeah. I nod, my voice squeaky with nerves. But, don't just hover your fingers like that. It tickles too much. She blinks at me, then grins. Noted, her giggle is mischievous as she places her whole palm flat against my back. The warmth of her hand sinks into me, solid and real. Her skin is rougher than mine, callous from adventure, battle, and training. But that contrast only makes her touch feel more intimate. My breath catches. Bottom. Oh, Eris hums teasingly. Your heart's racing. It's 'cause you're still tickling me. I protest weakly, voice wobbling. She leans in, breath brushing against my ear. The sensation sends a fresh shiver down my spine. Sure, blame it on the tickling, she whispers, her tone a dangerous, kind of playful. What do you mean by that? My voice cracks like glass, and I can feel my ears twitching. She laughs again, soft, musical, and a little too pleased with herself. Just teasing. And then silence. But it's no longer awkward. Her hand moves in slow, thoughtful patterns against my back, tracing circles, lines, curves. Almost like she's learning me, committing the shape of me to memory. My heart hasn't slowed, but I'm no longer flustered by it. I don't pull away. I let her explore. Eventually, her fingers still. She picks up the towel again and resumes scrubbing, gentler this time. The warmth of the water, the rough softness of the cloth, it's grounding. You know, I say, voice low, your skin's really nice too. She pauses. Me? Yeah. I nod. Yours looks healthy. Strong. Kinda glowing. Eris smiles faintly, brushing a hand across her shoulder. Thanks. Her skin is tougher, sure, but there's beauty in that. Strength and grace woven into every scar and callus. It's a different kind of softness, one I admire. She's a warrior, after all, but she's also just a girl. And girls are soft in more ways than one. Also, I glance at her arms. Your body's amazing. Seriously, those muscles, how'd you get that strong? She chuckles. Perfect? Nah, I think I'm too muscular. Most people don't like girls who look like me. What? No way. I shake my head. You look incredible, powerful, and feminine. It's like you're carved from marble or something. Her arms, her abs, even the curve of her waist, it's all perfectly sculpted. Effortless beauty and strength. It's hot, really hot. But I can't just say that, right? Eris tilts her head, her eyes narrowing playfully. So you like it? My body? Eh. My brain crashes. Well, yeah. I say a little too loudly. It's the total opposite of mine. Look, I flex dramatically. Noodles. Total noodle arms. And, your chest is way bigger than mine, too. She laughs, loud and genuine. So what? I think your flat chest is cute. My brain stops. Did she just say mine? She likes flat chests? She likes them. Why flat chest? My face combusts. And she's grinning now, entirely too pleased with herself. It's way easier to move and fight without stuff in the way, you know? I'd trade for yours any day, she adds with a wink. Oh, so that's what she meant. It's practical, logical, reasonable. But she didn't have to phrase it like that. Then gimme yours. I huff, arms crossed. Let's trade. Deal, she chirps without a moment's hesitation. I groan. Stupid Eris. I sit in pouting silence as she keeps scrubbing my back. She's too good at this for me to stay mad for long. The warmth, the water, her touch, it's all so gentle. I start to relax again. But then, she leans in. Her breath dances across my ear. You know, she whispers, voice soft as velvet. You were really cute today, especially in that pink dress. Boom. My mind short-circuits. My heart nearly leaps out of my chest. I spin toward her, eyes wide. Eris's gaze softens, a genuine smile spreading across her face. Yeah, she says. You're the cutest and most beautiful person I've ever seen, Felicia. Bottom, bottom, bottom. I whip around and bury my face in my hands. My cheeks burn. My ears burn. My soul burns. Words? Who needs them? She said I'm beautiful. She said my name. And just like that, I'm a puddle of feelings and sparkles. I can't stop smiling. I don't want to.
Hey, welcome to Firescale Audiobooks. If you enjoy our audiobooks, please consider subscribing to the channel. Also, feel free to share your review in the comments section below.
All right, all done. Eris chirps, pulling back after one last gentle swipe across my back. Thanks for letting me scrub your back. That was fun. Wait, it's over already? No. I wail, pouting in disappointment. The warmth, the soothing sensation of her hands. It all felt way too good to end already. Eris tilts her head, a teasing smile playing on her lips. Your back is already spotless, she muses, then pauses, her eyes glinting mischievously. Or, do you want me to clean the front too? Oomph. No thanks. I huff, snatching the towel from her hands, my face instantly heating up. My heart skips a beat at her teasing, but I quickly brush it off, scowling at her playful smirk. It's my turn now, I declare, trying to sound confident. Eris giggles, and before I know it, I've already moved behind her, gently nudging her onto the stool. Yay, she cheers, settling down eagerly. She stretches her arms and rolls her shoulders like she's warming up for a workout, her excitement making me chuckle. All right, get ready, I say, inhaling deeply. I'm going to give you the best hair wash ever. But even as I say that, my heart is pounding, not just from excitement, but from nerves too. Because in my previous life, I've never washed a girl's hair before. What if she realizes I have no idea what I'm doing? Yeah, that would be so embarrassing. But it's just washing hair, right? How hard can it be? I mentally run through the steps. Wet the hair, apply shampoo, massage gently, not too rough. Don't mess this up. Clean her ears, rinse the shampoo, apply conditioner, then rinse again, and finally a nice back scrub. Yeah, that should do it. I've got this. Hee hee, I can't wait. Eris giggles softly, completely oblivious to my internal panic. I reach out hesitantly, my fingers brushing through her long, midnight black hair. It cascades down her back in soft, silky waves, though it's a bit tangled and slightly oily from the day's adventures. Maintaining hair like this must be a challenge, I think to myself. But then, as I gently move her hair aside, revealing the bare skin of her back beneath it, I freeze. The playful mood vanishes in an instant. A sudden wave of shock and horror crashes over me, knocking the breath from my lungs. My chest tightens, like an invisible hand is gripping my heart, squeezing too hard. Eris, I stammer, my voice barely a whisper as my hand hovers uncertainly above her back. These are scars. Big, long, jagged scars, deep and merciless, carved into her skin. As soon as the words leave my mouth, I feel her body tense beneath my fingertips. Slowly, Eris turns her head, just enough to glance at me from the corner of her eye. Her playful expression is gone, replaced by something quieter, something guarded. Oh, she murmurs, almost too softly to hear. Her voice is fragile, carrying something heavy, something buried deep. I'm sorry, she continues, her lips barely moving. Did I scare you? There's a hesitance in her tone, as if she's bracing herself for my reaction. Like she's afraid of what I might say. Like she's used to people looking at her scars and recoiling. Like she expects me to look at her differently. But all I can feel right now is a lump forming in my throat. Because those scars, they don't scare me. They hurt me. They make my heart ache in ways I don't understand. No, not at all. I whisper, my voice barely audible over the soft ripples of bathwater. My heart tightens as I gently turn her back around. Then, slowly, almost fearfully, I let my trembling fingers trace the jagged lines of the scars, feeling the rough, uneven texture beneath my touch. My heart twists painfully. These scars, they're horrifying, like the aftermath of a beast's claws, something too massive to be natural. A bear? No, not even a bear could do this. Just what did this to her? Was it from the dungeon? I ask, my voice fragile, weighed down by the sheer thought of the pain she must have endured. Yeah, she replies softly. I was a little careless, and, well, the beast got me. My fingers move over the ridges of her scars again, and I feel a familiar sting gathering in my eyes. A little careless? No, this isn't from a small mistake. This is survival. And suddenly, she speaks again, her voice quieter this time, laced with something brittle. It's ugly, isn't it? She doesn't look at me when she says it. Her gaze flickers away, as if she's too ashamed to face me. The question feels like a dagger to my heart. No, it's not ugly. I blurt out, my voice nearly cracking as emotion wells up inside me. Damn it, why does it hurt so much? Why does it feel like her pain is seeping into me, clawing at my chest? I want to wrap my arms around her, to hold her and chase away whatever thoughts are making her doubt herself like this. But we're both naked. So instead, I do the only thing I can. I place my palm gently against her back, against those scars. Even with these, you're still beautiful. You're the most beautiful person I've ever seen. I murmur, my voice trembling. Eris's breath catches. For a second, her lips part slightly, as if she wants to say something. Then, slowly, a soft smile blooms across her face. Felicia, she whispers, but I can't let it go. I need to know. But was it painful? I ask, my voice cracking, my throat tightening as tears threaten to spill. Eris pauses. For a moment, I think she won't answer. Her lips pressed together like she's weighing her words carefully. But then, with a light shrug, she speaks. Nah, I passed out when it happened. Didn't feel a thing. She says it too casually. And I know she's lying. She did feel it. She felt everything. No, you're lying. I murmur, my voice unsteady, my fists clenching beneath the water. She hesitated. She hesitated before she spoke. Eris lets out a quiet chuckle, but it sounds hollow. Hey, it doesn't matter, does it? She says with a small, bittersweet smile. I'm still alive, right? That's what counts. I freeze. Her words catch me off guard. She's right. At the end of the day, Eris is still here. She's still breathing. She's still smiling. And that's what matters. I take a deep breath, trying to steady the whirlwind inside me. The lump in my throat doesn't go away, but I choose to let it be. I won't press her. I won't ask about the scars anymore. I'll let them fade into the background, as if they never existed. I force a smile, nudging her playfully. All right, now turn around and lower your head. I command, shifting the mood. I'm going to wash your hair. Yay! Eris chirps, turning obediently. I scoop some shampoo into my hands, rubbing it between my fingers before carefully working it into her hair. I try my best to be as gentle as possible, my fingers gliding over her scalp, massaging softly. As I work the shampoo through her dark strands, I can't help but notice. Her hair is just long enough to cover her back, to hide her scars completely, as if she doesn't want anyone to see them, as if she's self-conscious about them. No, maybe I'm overthinking it. I shake my head, pushing the thought aside, and focus on the task at hand. For the first time today, we stop talking. Yet the silence isn't awkward. A few moments later, after washing Eris' hair and scrubbing her back, we both sink into the hot bath, immersing ourselves in the soothing water. It's blissful, so very relaxing. The warmth seeps in my muscles, unraveling every bit of tension I didn't even realize I was holding. I close my eyes for a moment, letting out a slow, contented sigh. The gentle ripples of water lap against my skin, a comforting rhythm that makes me feel weightless. Across from me, Eris leans back, floating effortlessly. Her toned arms rest lazily along the bath's edge, her head tilted upward, eyes half-lidded in peace. Her dark hair fans out around her, and the candlelight flickers over her smooth, sun-kissed skin. Droplets of water glisten on her collarbones, trailing down to where her body disappears beneath the surface. She's undeniably beautiful. But for once, I'm not focused on that. All I can think about is the scar. The image of it won't leave my mind. The deep, jagged ridges, the way her voice had wavered when she spoke about it, like she was used to people looking at her and seeing only that. I bite my lip. I can't let it go. Eris, I murmur, breaking the silence. Her eyes flutter open, meeting mine. Yes. I hesitate, but the question is already weighing too heavily on my heart. Can I ask you something? She blinks, then nods. Of course. I take a deep breath, gripping the edge of the tub, steeling myself for the answer I might receive. Why do you go into the dungeons? I finally ask. Do you have to? Her expression shifts. It's subtle, but I catch it. The flicker of surprise, then something else. Something guarded. Eris exhales slowly, leaning her head back, staring up at the ceiling like she's searching for words. When she finally speaks, her voice is quiet. Yes, I have to. She pauses, then offers me a small, unreadable smile. But thank you for worrying about me. It means a lot. I frown. I don't like that answer. It feels dismissive, like she's brushing me off, like she's gently pushing me out of something that should be my business. For a few moments, I stay silent, debating whether I should let it go. But I can't. Now when the ache in my chest is this heavy. Not when I think about those scars. Not when I think about losing her. But why? I ask, my voice barely above a whisper. I shift forward, reaching for her hand beneath the water, wrapping my fingers around hers. She stiffens slightly, surprised by the touch, but doesn't pull away. Is it because of money? I press, my grip tightening. Eris, you don't have to do this. There are safer jobs. You shouldn't have to risk your life like this. Nothing is more important than your life. Not to me. Eris blinks, taken aback. For a second, she doesn't say anything. Then she smiles softly and, pat, gently ruffles my hair. Hey, I'm not a child. I pout, swat her hand away. She chuckles, shaking her head. All right. But then, her smile fades, replaced by something heavier, something tired. No, it's not about the money, she admits quietly. I have my reasons. What reasons? I press, my chest tightening. Can you tell me? I know I'm prying. I know it's not fair of me to push. But the thought of her diving into danger over and over again, coming back with more scars, or not coming back at all, makes my stomach twist. I don't want to lose her. I don't even know why that fear feels so raw, so real, but it does. Eris holds my gaze for a long moment, as if trying to decide something. Then, finally she speaks. "It's my father," she says, her voice laced with sorrow. "I have to find him." I freeze. "Your father?" I echo. She nods, and for the first time, pain is evident in her eyes. "Yes." As the word leaves her lips, her grip on my hand tightens. I feel it, the faint tremor in her fingers, the subtle tension in her body, the weight of something heavy pressing down on her. She's trembling, just slightly, but enough for me to notice. Enough for me to realize that this isn't just a passing thought for her. It's something that haunts her, something that consumes her. "What happened?" I ask, my chest tightening at the sight of her like this. But then, I hesitate. I don't want to push. I don't want to pry into something that might be too painful for her to talk about. "Actually, I'm sorry," I murmur quickly, lowering my gaze. "You don't have to tell me if you're not ready." Eris doesn't respond right away. For a moment, she just looks at me, studying my face with an unreadable expression. Then, slowly, she shakes her head, her lips tugging into a faint, bittersweet smile. Before I can say anything else, before I can even breathe, she leans in. Closer, so close that our foreheads touch. My heart stops. Her breath is warm against my skin, her scent, a soft blend of lavender and something uniquely her, surrounding me in an instant. Her long lashes brush against mine as she blinks, her eyes lidded, her face just inches away. What is happening? My thoughts spiral into a frantic mess. Wait. Did I just stumble into some kind of confession moment? Was this a setup? I was asking a serious question, and now suddenly this? Does she want to kiss me? Huh. My entire body locks up, my brain struggling to process. And then, just as suddenly as she leaned in, she pulls away. Like nothing even happened, leaving me completely and utterly flabbergasted. "Hey, eyes." Eris exhales, rubbing the back of her neck, releasing a breath that sounds almost tired. "It was many years ago," she murmurs, her voice softer now. "My father, he was a renowned adventurer, a man who dreamed of unveiling the secrets of the dungeons, of discovering what lies beyond this world." I blink. My heart is still racing, my thoughts still reeling. But despite my inner turmoil, I listen. 15 years ago, Eris' father was a knight of the kingdom of Zarakia, one of its most renowned warriors, an A-rank adventurer, a legend in his own right. Dungeon exploration wasn't just his profession, it was in his blood. Every time he returned home, he carried with him incredible stories, tales of fierce battles against fire-breathing lizards, of navigating through mystical ruins hidden deep within dungeons, untouched by time. He would gather Eris and her little brother by the fire, his voice brimming with adventure, his eyes gleaming with passion. To them, he wasn't just their father. He was a hero, their idol, the man they both admired with all their hearts. Those were the happiest days of Eris' life. But then everything changed. One day, an S-rank dungeon appeared within the kingdom. A dungeon unlike any other, its depths uncharted, its dangers unknown. As always, her father was among the first called to explore it. It was his duty, and like always, he accepted without hesitation. At the time, Eris thought nothing of it. It was just another mission, just like the countless ones before. He'd be gone for a few weeks, maybe a couple of months. But eventually, he would come back. He always came back. But this time, he didn't. Weeks turned into months. Months turned into years. And still, nothing. No news. No letters. No sign of him. Then, one day, a letter did arrive. A single, cold, official note, sealed by the royal family. A notification of disappearance. Nothing more. No details. No closure. Just gone. Eris was devastated. She cried for days, for weeks, until there were no more tears left to shed. The warmth of her world faded into something cold and hollow, her once bright, exciting life now consumed by a suffocating emptiness. Everyone whispered that he was dead, that he had perished within the dungeon's depths, lost forever to its dangers, that he was never coming back. But Eris refused to believe it. After all, how could she? Her father was the strongest man she had ever known. He couldn't be dead. He couldn't be. And that's why Eris became an adventurer. Not for gold, not for glory, but because she had to enter the dungeons herself. She had to find him, because deep down, no matter how much time passed, she still believed, maybe just maybe, she'd see him again. Eris. As she finishes her story, I can't stop the tears from falling. The truth behind her dungeon dives, the reason she's been risking her life, it's all for her father. But from everything I've heard, her father is probably dead, just like everyone said. Still, Eris clings to hope, convincing herself that he's out there somewhere, waiting to be found. It's almost certainly false hope, a 99.99% chance that he's gone. Yet, even if that's the reality, it doesn't matter. Her mind is made up, her heart set in stone. The determination in her eyes is unmistakable, burning beneath the sadness. Even if she had only one breath left, I know she'd still chase the dungeons. And all I can do now is be there for her. All right, I understand. I whisper, my voice shaking a little bit as I try to calm my emotions down. But you have to be careful. Please don't risk your life. If you die, who's going to find your father? Eris blinks, then smiles softly, reaching up to gently wipe my tears away. Her touch is warm, her fingers brushing against my skin with such tenderness that my heart clenches. I will, she whispers. I promise. Then, without a word, she shifts closer, pulling me beside her. Our shoulders touch, and I feel it, the steady warmth of her body against mine. Bottom. Eris lets out a deep sigh, her breath brushing against my skin as she rests her head on my shoulder. You know, you're right, she murmurs, her voice quiet, almost fragile. I told myself the same thing back then. When I got that wound, it was so deep. There was blood everywhere. I thought it was over. I thought I was going to die in that dungeon. Her fingers tighten slightly against my arm. But in the chaos, through all that pain, I saw him. She pauses, her breath hitching. My father. Her voice trembles. His image flashed in my mind, as if he was right there, telling me to hold on, to fight for him, not to give up. Silence falls between us. I swallow hard, my throat tight. Eris. I murmur, my heart aching for her. She lets out a small, bitter chuckle. And somehow I survived, she says softly. It felt like life gave me a second chance. Like I was meant to keep going. I can't imagine what she's been through. I don't even want to imagine it. But I don't need to. I feel it. In her voice, in her touch, in the unshakable resolve that keeps her moving forward. So don't worry, Felicia, she says, forcing a smile. I'll be careful. No more recklessness. Good. I nod, swallowing the lump in my throat. And if you face danger, run if you can. Don't go into dangerous places unprepared. Think before you step inside. Eris chuckles, though it's a little softer this time. Look at you, already an expert in dungeons. That's some solid advice. I giggle, wiping in my eyes, the tears fading even though my heart still feels so heavy. Then before I can stop myself, I blurt out, "Hey, how about I go with you next time? I could help." But the second the words leave my lips, Eris's expression shifts. Her smile fades. Her gaze sharpens. She turns to me, her eyes suddenly serious, the warmth in them vanishing. Absolutely not. But but she cuts me off with a firm, unwavering gaze. No, Felicia. Her voice is gentle but resolute. I appreciate that you want to be there for me, but I can't let you step into that kind of danger. And honestly, she hesitates, then sighs. You'd only hold me back. Ah, her words sting, sharp and undeniable. But she's right. I drop my gaze, embarrassment washing over me like a cold wave. What was I thinking? I'm just a weak, small catgirl. I can barely lift a few shopping bags without panting. How could I survive a dungeon full of monsters? I'm sorry, I mutter, my ears drooping. Don't apologize, Eris says, her grip on my hand tightening slightly. There's something else you can do. Something just as important. My ears perk up. Something I can do? What is it? She smiles, her thumb tracing slow, soothing circles on the back of my hand. If you really want to help, wait for me. My breath catches. Wait for you. Eris nods, looking straight into my eyes, her expression softer now. Knowing someone's waiting for me at home, like how I waited for my father, it'll give me the strength to keep going. A reason to return. Her words hit me, sinking deep into my heart. Ah, so that's how I can support her. Not by fighting beside her, but by being here, waiting for her to come home. All right, I declare, my chest swelling with determination. I'll wait for you. And when you come back, I'll cook you the best dinner ever and give you the best back scrub of your life. Eris blinks, then bursts into laughter, her face lighting up with warmth. That sounds amazing. I'm already looking forward to it. Her laughter is contagious, and soon, I find myself smiling too. I grip her hand a little tighter. Eris, I murmur softly. I'll be here for you. So please, make sure you return. If you don't, I swallow hard, then force myself to meet her gaze. I'll go into the dungeon myself to find you. Eris stills for a moment, her expression unreadable. Then, slowly, she smiles, a small, tender curve of her lips. All right, she says, her voice gentle, steady. I'll always come back. I lift my pinky. Promise. Eris blinks, confused. I promise. But what am I supposed to do? All right. She doesn't know. If you promise, you have to hook your pinky with mine. I explain quickly. That way, the promise is sealed, and you'll never be able to break it. Eris tilts her head. Like a blood contract. Yes. Her grin widens. All right. She hooks her pinky around mine, and our fingers intertwine. In that simple, gentle motion, a promise is made. I'll wait. She'll return. And no matter what, we'll be here for each other. After our bath, we find ourselves on the inn's rooftop, wrapped in the cool embrace of the night. This is part of Eris's nightly routine. A quiet moment beneath the stars, sipping a warm, creamy mug of milk before bed. Tonight, I'm tagging along. The rooftop is sturdier than I expected, but the wind is wild, tugging at my cloak as if trying to sweep me away. Nervously, I cling to Eris's arm, seeking comfort in her calm presence. Ay. I'm still shaking. I mutter, my voice trembling. I try not to look down. In my previous life, I was terrified of heights, like seriously petrified. Becoming a catgirl has helped a little, but even in this new body, the fear still lingers, though maybe just a little less than before. I can't help but wonder, do catgirls land on their feet like actual cats? Can they twist in midair and land safely from any height? It's an interesting thought, but definitely not one I'm testing tonight. As for how we got up here, Eris turned out to be an incredible climber. She scaled the wall from her window like it was nothing, carrying me along as if I weighed nothing at all. My only job? Holding onto the two giant milk mugs like my life depended on them. But you're right, I finally say, glancing up at the sky. The view, it's incredible. He told you. Eris chuckles. And she's right, it's breathtaking. We sit beneath a vast sky, stars scattered like glittering jewels across the heavens. The moon is enormous, far larger and brighter than the one I remember from Earth. Its soft, silvery glow casts everything in a magical light. I'm awestruck. How long has it been since I last saw a real night sky? Back in the city, the light pollution was so bad it devoured the stars completely. No matter where I stood, not a single star would peek through. But here, the sky is alive. White, red, blue, yellow, each twinkling, shifting in a cosmic dance. They flicker and pulse, some brightening while others fade, as if the sky itself is breathing. I raise my mug and take a sip. The milk is sweet and creamy, coating my tongue perfectly, hitting my catgirl taste buds just right. I swallow. Sha-ah-iya. A deep warmth spreads through me, traveling down my throat and filling my belly like a comforting hug. The sensation spills over, washing through my limbs in gentle waves. Pure bliss. Japanese people were right. There's nothing better than milk after a hot bath. It's so good, I exclaim, my tail swishing in delight. Eris, is there any sugar in this milk? I ask, peering curiously into my mug. Nope, just fresh goat's milk, she replies with a grin. Really? That's amazing. I gasp. So you like it? Yeah. I still don't know if it's actually the milk being superior to what I was used to, or if it's just my catgirl taste buds enhancing the flavor. There's no way for me to confirm, given that my human taste buds are long gone. Either way, I'm loving it. Suddenly, Eris offers me her mug. Here, try mine. It's even better. I glance at it, hesitating. It's chocolate milk. My breath catches. I love chocolate milk back on Earth. My whey protein? Always chocolate-flavored. My snacks? Always chocolate-based. I thought chocolate didn't exist in this world, yet here it is, right in front of me. The rich aroma tickles my nose, sweet and slightly bitter, tempting me, calling me, begging me to take a sip. But I pause. Are you sure this is safe to drink? I narrow my eyes suspiciously. Eris raises an eyebrow. Why? Because I fidget nervously. Isn't chocolate toxic to cats? Yes. I have to be cautious. I don't want to die so soon. My new life has just begun today. Eris bursts out laughing, nearly spilling her milk. No, silly. We're cat ferns, not actual cats. We can totally eat chocolate. Oh, phew. I breathe a sigh of relief. Well, if you say so. I take a small sip. And oh my God, the moment the warm, velvety chocolate coats my tongue, my entire soul ascends. Yo-wah. The slight bitterness of the cocoa blends perfectly with the creamy warmth of the milk, forming the most divine harmony of flavors. I hug my cheeks in pure bliss. Chocolate milk is the best. Hee. So you like it? Eris grins. Yes, I love it. All right, you can have mine. Let's switch. Oh, really? Are you sure? Of course. I've had too much chocolate milk lately. I was thinking of switching back to regular milk anyway. Well, if she says so, then there's no reason to hold back. In it, I nod eagerly, swapping mugs with her. And just like that, Eris takes mine, and I gladly take her chocolate milk. The moment I take another sip, it feels like I'm floating. The combination of rich, creamy chocolate milk, the endless night sky, and the gentle, cool breeze is nothing short of pure bliss. Shea, my life is complete. Right here, right now. But just as I raise the mug for another sip, a thought strikes me like a bolt of lightning. Wait a minute. Did I just drink from the same cup as Eris? Indirect kissu? Hey. I know this is the cringiest anime trope ever. I am fully aware. But for some reason, just the thought of it makes my hands shake uncontrollably. My fingers tighten around the mug, my heart hammering against my ribs. Blood rushes to my cheeks, burning hot. I sneak a glance at Eris, praying she hasn't noticed. But she's already looking at me. And then she leans closer. Her face inches toward mine, her piercing blue eyes locked onto my lips. Be a dump. Her hand reaches out, fingertips brushing against my cheek. Her eyes flicker slightly, her lips parting as she, be a dump. Eris, I squeak, my voice barely above a whisper. My breath catches in my throat. But Eris doesn't answer. She's too close now. So close I can feel the warmth of her breath, the way her gaze lingers. Oh God, is she going to kiss me? I panic. I panic so hard. My brain short-circuits. My entire system collapses in on itself. My heart is doing flips. Her thumb moves slowly toward my lips. And then, she gently wipes something away. Hee, you had a chocolate milk mustache. Eris grins, her voice teasing. Haha. That's what this was about. My foamy chocolate milk mustache. I want to crawl into a hole and perish. Right here, right now. So what? You have a mustache too. I blurt out, trying to force a laugh, my voice a high-pitched mess as I push her away lightly. Wait, I do. Eris blinks, then licks her upper lip. Oh, you're right. I cannot recover from this. Nope, it's over for me. Goodbye, dignity. Without another word, I chug my milk aggressively, gulping it down as if the sheer force of drinking will erase my humiliation. Cookies. Eris offers, holding out a few, ready to dip them into the milk. But I can't even process cookies right now. And no thanks. I am still really full. I stammer, pulling my cloak tighter around me, retreating deep into its folds like a cat trying to disappear. Okay. Eris shrugs, then happily munches on the cookies, completely unaware of the absolute chaos she just unleashed inside my heart. Eris stretches with a lazy, feline grace before flopping backward onto the bed, her carefree smile lighting up the room. "Yeah, that was so good," she sighs, her voice dripping with satisfaction. "Felicia, thank you. It's been forever since I've had someone to stargaze with on the rooftop." She turns to look at me, her eyes warm and sincere, but my heart is still in absolute chaos. The chocolate mustache moment, the almost kiss, the way she got so close to my lips, it's all spinning inside my head in a whirlwind I can't quite process. I want to be mad, but it's Eris, and I can never stay mad at her. Maybe I'm just too soft-hearted, or maybe I'm just too easily flustered. And now, the moment I've been dreading quietly in the back of my mind has finally arrived. Are we really going to sleep together? I freeze as Eris moves across the room, casually slipping out of her clothes and reaching for something soft to sleep in. My breath catches the moment the fabric slides over her body. Oh, my God. Her new nightgown is silk, white silk. The delicate fabric clings to her curves, flowing over her body like liquid. It's almost translucent, catching the moonlight that filters through the window, shimmering with every movement she makes. Her ample breasts subtly jiggle as she adjusts the straps, the gentle rise and fall of her chest drawing my eyes like a magnet. My face burns, even though I've already seen Eris completely naked before. This is somehow worse. No, more provocative, more intimate than when she had nothing on at all. And then, oh God, her nipples poke through the delicate silk, barely veiled by the fabric. I'm doomed. Abandon ship. Abort mission. I force myself to look away before my brain completely crashes. My fingers clench the hem of my cloak, my breath uneven. Eris, meanwhile, has no idea what she's doing to me. "Oh, I like this," she murmurs, running her hands over the smooth silk. A faint pink dusts her cheeks as she smiles. "This fabric feels so soft." "Oh, really?" I stammer, struggling to keep my voice even. "I'm glad you like it." Eris hums in approval, still admiring the nightgown. "Yeah, it's a surprise, honestly. I usually sleep naked, so this is totally new for me." What? My entire system shuts down. Every remaining brain cell I have disintegrates into dust. Naked? Eris always sleeps naked. Naked? If she were going to sleep next to me like that, my heart would surely explode. Please keep your sleep dress on." I blurt out, my face heating up even more. "Otherwise, why you'll get stung by mosquitoes." "Mosquitoes?" Ha ha ha. Eris throws her head back in laughter. "You're right. They always get me. I don't mind, though. They can have my blood if they want." Then, as if she hasn't just dropped a nuclear bomb on my fragile composure, she twirls in place. "Anyway, how do I look?" The silk glides over her curves as she spins, shimmering under the soft moonlight. It highlights everything. "Why, you look amazing." I blurt out before I can even think. "Gee, thanks." Eris grins, then crawls onto the bed, slipping under the blankets like it's the most natural thing in the world. She pats the space beside her. "Well, what are you waiting for? Let's sleep." "Yeah, all right," I squeak. But man, how does she say things like that so nonchalantly? Is this really how girls are when they're alone together? I gulp, my throat suddenly dry, trying to calm my racing heart. I quickly change into my own sleepwear, a soft blue dress that falls just past my knees. There's even a hole for my tail, which wiggles as I adjust the fabric. The material is light and smooth, so airy that it almost feels like I'm wearing nothing at all. I turn around, ready to crawl into bed, and freeze. Eris is staring at me. Her gaze lingers, her eyes slightly wider than usual. A faint pink dusts her cheeks. Then, softly, almost too softly, she whispers, "Why, you look stunning." My breath catches. "Am I?" I squeak, barely able to process her words. Eris blinks, as if realizing what she just said. She quickly looks away. Yeah, B.A. dump. B.A. dump. The tension in the air is so thick it's suffocating. My entire body feels warm, too warm. Embarrassed, I dive under the blankets, yanking them up to my chin in a desperate attempt to hide my flustered face. Now, lying beside Eris, sharing the same blanket, the room feels quieter. The only sounds left are the faint murmurs of the midnight streets outside the window, distant voices, the occasional clatter of footsteps, and even a drunkard singing an off-key melody. This atmosphere, it's different, yet somehow it's nice. You know, Felicia. Eris breaks the silence, her voice soft in the quiet of the night. After telling you my story, I feel so much lighter now. Thank you for listening. And thank you for sharing it, I reply, turning my head toward her in the darkness. I believe you'll find your father soon. I'll pray for it every day. Eris smiles, her blue eyes glowing faintly in the moonlight. Thanks, she whispers. And then I feel it. Under the covers, her hand brushes lightly against mine. A barely there touch. A hesitation. Then her fingers inch closer until they intertwine with mine. My heart stutters, then races. I don't pull away. I don't even think about pulling away. I let her hold my hand. Let the warmth of her skin seep into mine. Let myself revel in the small, but oh so intimate moment. She squeezes lightly. I squeeze back. Felicia, Eris murmurs, voice so quiet I almost miss it. Can we sleep like this? Do you mind if I hold your hand? And not at all. I manage to squeak, though inside I'm screaming. Heck yeah. Wait, hold on a second. Isn't this a sign? She's been flirting with me all day, right? She's holding my hand now, which means she likes me, right? And tomorrow, we can get even closer. Kaya. My heart is going feral. I can barely keep still. A giddy smile stretches across my face, warmth spreading from my fingertips to my very core. But then, you know me, when my brother used to do this too, Eris says suddenly, voice tinged with nostalgia. We'd hold hands when we slept. It made me feel safe, calm, like everything was okay. This reminds me so much of him. Oh, a small pang of disappointment tugs at my heart. So, it's not because of me. It's just something she used to do with her brother. No, I shake my head. What was I thinking? This isn't about me. It's about Eris. And as long as I can hold her hand while we sleep, that's more than enough for me. Eris, let's hold hands every night. I declare suddenly, determined. Eris chuckles softly, squeezing my hand again. Yeah, let's do that. Then, with a yawn, she whispers, all right, good night, Felicia. And in, I nod eagerly. Good night, Eris. Closing my eyes, I focus on the warmth of her hand. I love it. I love it so much. I can't stop smiling to myself, my heart swelling with an emotion too big to name. And then, in under a minute, Eris is already fast asleep, her soft, adorably cute snores filling the room. Meanwhile, I'm still wide awake. My heart is too full of emotions to rest just yet. Thinking back, this is insane. I was reincarnated into another world as a catgirl. I met Eris, the best catgirl ever. This is even better than heaven. Hee hee. Eventually, though, the warmth of the bed, the soft rhythm of her breathing, and the quiet night lull me into a peaceful slumber. And just like that, my consciousness fades away. Sizzling, the ribeye steak crackles as I flip it, releasing an intoxicating aroma of seared beef and rich fat into the air. The crust is perfect, golden brown, crisp beneath the brush of my tongs. Next, I toss in a stick of butter, watching as it melts into a glistening pool of golden decadence. It bubbles and swirls, fusing with the steak's juices to create liquid perfection. Grabbing a spoon, I tilt the pan and begin basting, scooping the hot, velvety butter and drizzling it over the meat again and again, letting it seep into every crevice. The sizzling grows louder, the aroma thick and indulgent. After a few more moments, it's done. I carefully place the steak aside to rest, but my work isn't over yet. The sauce. Using the leftover pan juices, I start crafting the best steak sauce ever. A splash of red wine hits the pan with a dramatic sizzle. SZZZT. A cloud of rich, savory steam rises, carrying the scent of caramelized goodness. The wine deglazes the pan, extracting every bit of flavorful residue left behind by the meat. I stir it slowly, watching as it reduces into a thick, velvety perfection, the final touch to this masterpiece. Finally, the steak has rested long enough. The moment of truth. I grab my knife, hovering over the glistening slab of beef, my heart racing with anticipation. The blade sinks in effortlessly, parting the tender meat to reveal. A perfect medium rare. The center is a gorgeous pink, juicy and rich, the fat shimmering like molten gold. With every cut, more juices spill onto the plate, teasing my senses, making my stomach growl. But I resist the urge to dive in. She'll be home any moment now. I just need to wait a little bit longer. And then, right on cue, the front door creaks open. My ears perk up. My heart leaps. Dropping everything, I rush out of the kitchen, eyes lighting up the moment I see her. The instant Eris steps inside, the whole room feels warmer, brighter. "Honey, I'm home," she calls, her voice rich with amusement. "Yes, welcome home." I giggle, beaming at her. "Oh my." Eris looks incredible. She stands in the doorway, framed by the dim evening light, dressed sharply in a tailored black suit and pants. The crisp fabric clings perfectly to her toned frame, exuding an effortless authority. Her long, dark hair cascades over her shoulders like liquid silk, and the glasses perched elegantly on her nose add an extra touch of sophistication. Too perfect, too stunning, too dangerously attractive. I swallow hard, my heart doing frantic flips as I step forward to help her out of her vest. My fingers brush against the cool fabric, but it's her scent that truly sends me spiraling, fresh, intoxicating, like the night air after a storm. It's laced with a hint of her signature cologne, uniquely her. I'm drowning in it. Snap out of it, Felicia. Focus. Eris sniffs the air, her sharp blue eyes flickering with curiosity. "Is that steak?" "Hee. Yeah, a 24-ounce ribeye, medium rare." I chirp, forcing my excitement to override the dangerous warmth creeping into my cheeks. "Oh, I can't wait," she purrs, a slow, mischievous grin spreading across her lips. I nod quickly, eager to escape the tension. "All right, I'll go finish." Thud. Before I could take a step, she grabs me. I barely have time to react before my back collides with the wall, a soft gasp escaping my lips. Eris is right there, pressing in close, her body just inches from mine. Her hand pins me effortlessly, her intense gaze locking onto mine. My breath catches. I can't move. I don't want to move. She tilts my chin up with her free hand, forcing me to meet her gaze. My heartbeat is thunderous, deafening, pounding so hard I can hear it in my ears. Darling, tea to dinner. Aren't you hungry?" I stammer, my voice weak, breathless. But instead of answering, she leans in, closer, closer, until her lips brush against my ear. Soft, barely there. Then a nip. Nya! A sharp jolt of electricity shoots down my spine, my knees threatening to buckle. But Eris isn't done. Her hand slides beneath my shirt, fingers ghosting over my stomach, teasing, exploring. The heat of her touch sears my skin, leaving a trail of fire as she slowly, agonizingly slowly, moves higher, until a single stroke against my sensitive nipple sends shockwaves through me. "Ah, Eris!" I gasp, my voice is soft, helpless plea. A dangerous glint flashes in her eyes. Her lips trail along my neck, leaving behind hot, lingering kisses, each one stealing more of my sanity. Meanwhile, her other hand tightens around my wrist, pinning me completely. I'm trapped beneath her, helpless, trembling, completely at her mercy. I try to protest, my last shred of logic screaming at me. Darling, the food, it'll get cold." Her response is a whisper against my skin. "Then let it be cold." Her fingers roll over my nipple, slow, deliberate, torturous. A deep shiver racks my body, a moan slipping from my lips before I can stop it. And then, her lips crash against mine. The kiss is fierce, demanding, her tongue claiming me with an intensity that sends my mind spiraling. She devours me, teasing, coaxing, commanding, as her hand continues its relentless assault. I melt into her, my body writhing as waves of pleasure flood every inch of me. I can't resist, can't fight back. Not that I want to. I gasp for air, but she swallows every sound, refusing to let me go. Her tongue tangles with mine, her lips pressing harder, deeper, and wait, something's off. I blink, my brain struggling to push through the intoxicating haze. Eris, I mumble against her lips, pulling back slightly. What's wrong? She murmurs, eyes half-lidded with heat. Did you eat bacon on the way home? She blinks. Bacon? No, why? Because... I hesitate, feeling ridiculously silly. Your lips, they taste like bacon. Silence. And then, I wake up. My eyes fly open to the sight of a single, crispy strip of bacon dangling in front of my face. Hee. Wakey, wakey. The early cat gets the bacon. Eris giggles, waving a crispy strip of bacon in front of my face like a playful temptress. I blink, my mind still groggy, struggling to separate fantasy from reality. A dream. It was just a dream. I let out a dramatic wail and bury my face in the pillow, kicking my legs like a defeated kitten. Nymira. Meanwhile, Eris just laughs, completely oblivious to the emotional turmoil she's caused. All right then, it's mine, she chirps, popping the bacon in her mouth without a second thought. I peek up from my pillow, betrayed. That was my bacon. But before I can launch a full-fledged protest, she stretches, yawns, and ruffles my already messy bed hair. Come on, Felicia. Get up. We're heading to the guild today to get your ID. Oh, right. I jolt awake. The guild. My ID. My official documentation in this world. Suddenly, my dream is forgotten. It's time to face reality. I slip into my new pink dress, step into my leather boots, and throw on my red hooded cloak, giving it a playful twirl. The fabric flutters around me as I spin, and I sneak a glance at Eris, my heart skipping a beat. So, how do I look? I ask, nervously excited. Eris grins, her sharp blue eyes sparkling with approval. Cute, she exclaims without hesitation. I'm so glad we bought that dress. It looks amazing on you. Oh, really? I stammer, my cheeks warming under her gaze. Yeah, you might even steal the hearts of all the boys in town. Hee. She winks playfully. Why you think so? Am I really that beautiful? I ask, my voice quieter. Eris leans in slightly, her expression sincere. Of course, you're the most beautiful girl in the world. B.A. dump. The words hit me like a spell, sending my heart spiraling into a frantic dance. Oh, Eris, how can she say things like that so easily? Does she even realize what she's doing to me? I take a deep breath, trying to steady my racing heart. Despite the fluttering in my chest, energy surges through me. Today's the day. The Adventurers Guild. Here I come. Even though my stomach grumbles in protest, longing for bacon, I decide to hold off. After all, Eris mentioned the morning market would be filled with delicious treats, and there's no way I'm missing out on those. Moments later, we head downstairs into the inn's bustling dining area. The scent of fresh bread and roasted coffee wafts through the air, mingling with the morning chatter of early risers. Oh, morning, Felicia. Morning, Eris. Lily beams at us as she wipes down a table. She and the other servers are already in full swing, cleaning and prepping for brunch. Although food service hasn't started yet, a few guests sit patiently, sipping on steaming cups of tea. Morning, Lily. Good morning, Chef Gordon. I greet them brightly. Behind the counter, Gordon is already at work, slicing through a loaf of bread with his usual expertise. He turns at the sound of my voice, his broad grin warming the space like a sunrise. Hee, how was your sleep last night? Good, Gordon asks. Yes, it was wonderful. I beam. Thank you so much for the late-night milk and snack. It was amazing. Glad you liked it. He chuckles, his chest puffing with satisfaction. Eris adjusts her cloak before addressing him. All right, I'm taking Felicia to the Adventurers Guild for her ID now. If all goes well, she should have it in a few days. No rush, take your time. Gordon waves us off with an easy smile. But before we can leave, he turns to me, his eyes twinkling. Felicia, I can't wait to have you in my kitchen. I'm still blown away by how flawless your knife skills were yesterday. That was amazing, an absolute performance. I flush at the praise. Thank you, Chef Gordon. I can't wait either. His words fill me with pride. Soon, I'll be working, earning my own money, and finally standing on my own 2 feet. No more relying on Eris. No more being a burden. I'm so lucky, I think to myself. To have landed a job this quickly in a new world, it almost feels too good to be true. Just as we turn to leave, Gordon calls us back. Actually, Eris, there's something I forgot to mention. His voice takes on a more serious tone, and his gaze flickers to me. Felicia, would you mind stepping outside for a moment? Oh, sure. I blink, caught off guard by the shift in atmosphere. As I step outside, the cool morning air nips at my cheeks. I shiver slightly, wrapping my cloak around me. Through the wooden door, I catch a glimpse of Gordon's face. His brows are furrowed, his usual cheerful expression replaced with something heavier. Something's wrong. I fidget anxiously, wondering what he wants to talk about. I just hope it's nothing bad. As I stand outside the Gilded Horns, my gaze drifts upward to the sky, my thoughts tangled in uneasy speculation about what might be unfolding inside. The quiet is abruptly shattered by Eris's voice, sharp and seething, cutting through the air like a blade. Those bastards. They ***ing dare. Her roar is thunderous, and I flinch, my heart lurching in my chest. Before I can even process her outburst, a deafening BM erupts from within, the force of it rattling the ground beneath my feet. The sound reverberates through my bones, and a surge of panic grips me, sharp and unrelenting. I rush back inside, my pulse roaring in my ears. The moment I cross the threshold, my breath catches, my eyes widening in stunned disbelief. Eris stands amidst the wreckage of a shattered table, her fist clenched, splinters of wood scattered around her like shards of her fury. Her chest heaves with ragged breaths, her entire body radiating a terrifying, almost primal rage. My knees weaken, a knot of fear twisting in my stomach as I force myself to take a hesitant step forward. Eris, I whisper, my voice trembling, barely audible. This is a side of her I've never seen before, raw, unbridled anger. Her bloodshot eyes burn with an intensity that could scorch the earth, her veins standing out against her skin as she grits her teeth. Her fangs are bared, her breathing heavy and ragged, as though she's barely holding herself back from tearing someone apart. The others in the room, save for Gordon, are frozen, their faces pale, their expressions etched with fear. The air is thick with tension, suffocating and electric. Then her eyes lock onto mine, and something shifts. The fury in her gaze softens, melting into something more restrained, though the storm still rages just beneath the surface. She exhales slowly, as though forcing herself to regain control. Felicia, she murmurs, her voice strained but gentler now, like the calm after a tempest. What happened? I manage to ask, my voice barely above a whisper. Eris takes a deep breath, her chest rising and falling with deliberate effort. Felicia, she begins, her tone low and measured, why didn't you tell me earlier about those bastards who harassed you? Her words hit me like a sledgehammer, and I feel my heart constrict painfully. The memories of last night come rushing back. The 2 drunk men, their leering faces, their hands reaching for me, the stench of alcohol on their breath. I had buried it deep, told myself it was nothing, but the truth is I'm still terrified. Their ugly grins, the way they cornered me, the paralyzing fear that gripped me, it's all still so vivid, so raw. I didn't think it was that important. I stammer, my voice breaking. Please don't worry about it. I'll be more careful next time. But even as I speak, my body betrays me. I'm trembling, my hands shaking uncontrollably, my fear too overwhelming to hide. I don't want to burden Eris with this. She has enough to deal with. But no matter how hard I try, I can't stop the quaking in my limbs. Gordon lets out a long, weary sigh, but it's Eris who moves. Without a word, she steps forward and reaches for my hand. The moment her fingers close around mine, the trembling begins to subside. I look up, and the anger in her eyes has transformed into something else. Something soft, warm, and achingly tender. Her bloodshot eyes glisten with unshed tears, and the kindness in them makes my heart ache. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I choke out, my voice cracking as the floodgates of emotion threaten to burst. Eris pulls me into her arms, holding me tightly, her embrace firm yet gentle. And in that moment, I break. Tears pour from me in uncontrollable waves, my sobs racking my body as I bury my face in her shoulder. All the fear, the pain, the helplessness I've been holding back comes crashing down, overwhelming me. I cry harder than I have in years, my tears and snot soaking into her clothes, but she doesn't seem to care. She just holds me, her hand gently patting my back. It's okay, she murmurs softly, her voice a soothing balm. Let all out. It's okay. It turns out it was Gordon who saved me from those men. I owe him more than I could ever repay, more than words could ever convey. Thank you so much, Chef Gordon, I say, bowing deeply, my voice trembling with gratitude. My heart feels like it might burst. If you hadn't been there, I don't even want to think about what could have happened last night. Gordon smiles warmly, shaking his head as if it were nothing. No need to thank me. I just did what anyone would have done. Besides, he adds with a chuckle, nodding toward Eris, if something had happened to you, this one here would have skinned me alive. I glance at Eris, who's standing nearby, her arms crossed and her expression still simmering with barely contained fury. Though her rage has cooled somewhat, the fire in her eyes hasn't dimmed. Those bastards dare to make my girl cry. Eris growls, her fists clenching so tightly her knuckles whiten. I'm going to make them regret they were ever born. Old man, she snaps, turning to Gordon. Did you catch their IDs? What rank were they? Gordon strokes his chin thoughtfully. If I remember correctly, they were D rank. D rank, Eris scoffs, her lips curling into a grin that's equal parts dangerous and delighted. Pathetic. I'll teach them a lesson they'll never forget. But something about this doesn't sit right with me. My stomach churns as I remember the ID Eris showed me earlier. Her rank is W. Wait a minute. I blurt out, my heart pounding so hard I can feel in my throat. Eris, please don't do anything reckless. I know you're angry, but you're only E rank. Those guys are D rank. They're supposed to be stronger than you. Eris doesn't even flinch. Instead, she looks at me with a smirk that's both reassuring and slightly terrifying, as if the idea of being outranked is nothing more than a minor inconvenience. Huh, so what? She says, flipping her hair back with a casual flick of her wrist. I'm going to break their arms, so they'll think twice before messing with you again. Trust me, Felicia. They won't know what hit them. Actually, Gordon interjects, his voice calm but firm. Felicia's right. You shouldn't get involved, Eris. Let me handle this. I'll talk to those two when they show their faces again. And if they don't listen, he pauses, his tone darkening. I'll give them a warning they won't soon forget. Eris's brows furrow, her lips pressing into a thin line as she considers his words. For a moment, it looks like she might argue, but then she relents with a frustrated click of her tongue. TSK fine, she mutters, crossing her arms tightly over her chest. But you'd better make sure they get what's coming to them. I will, Gordon assures her, his voice steady and confident. You have my word. I hesitate, my gaze flickering nervously between them. But, Chef Gordon, I stammer. Are you really stronger than them? Gordon chuckles lightly, the sound warm and reassuring. Without a word, he reaches into his pocket and pulls out an ID card, holding it up for me to see. The glint in his eyes tells me everything I need to know. There's more to this kind old man than meets the eye. Name, Gordon Ramsett. Date of birth, November 8th, 1286. Race, sheepfurren. Hometown, Sablethorn, Zirak Desert. Adventurer rank, B. Criminal record, none. So, is that enough proof for you? Gordon grins, his confidence radiating like the warmth of a hearth. Wow, wow, I exclaim, my eyes wide with awe. Chef Gordon, you're incredible. Wait, Zirak Desert? Isn't that where Eris is from? Yup, Eris chimes in, a sly smirk tugging at her lips. The old man's actually a retired adventurer from Zarakia. He used to fight alongside my father back in the day. They were practically inseparable. Oh, really? I gasped, my curiosity piqued. That's right. Gordon confirms with a hearty chuckle. I was knee-deep in dungeons, slaying monsters when one day it hit me. I needed to spend more time with my daughter. He turns to Eris, his eyes twinkling with nostalgia. And I've known this little kitty since she was no bigger than a loaf of bread. Eris, you used to be so much more adorable back then. Huh? A loaf of what? What are you even talking about, old man? Eris snaps, her cheeks flushing slightly. I can't help but giggle at her reaction. It all makes sense now, why Eris calls him old man with such fondness. Their bond runs deeper than I realized. So rest assured, Gordon says, patting my shoulder with a reassuring hand. With me around, no one's going to mess with you. Yup, Eris adds, nodding firmly. He may be old, but he's reliable. If you ever run into trouble, just go to him. A wave of relief washes over me, and I smile gratefully. Thank you so much, Chef Gordon. The heavy weight of fear that had been pressing down on me begins to lift. Knowing someone as strong and dependable as Gordon is looking out for me makes me feel safe, safer than I've felt in a long time. But then, Gordon's expression shifts, his tone growing more serious. Still, he says, his voice lowering slightly, you need to be careful, Felicia, especially because, well, you're quite pretty in the eyes of men like those. Ah, why you're right. I mumble, suddenly feeling self-conscious. My hands instinctively clutch at the hem of my dress. Maybe it's not safe to wear such cute clothes in public. What if I attract more unwanted attention? Nah, don't worry about that. Eris interrupts, flashing me a confident smile. I'm with you, remember? And don't underestimate Eris, Gordon adds, his tone firm. She may be E-rank, but she's stronger than she looks. You're in good hands. I glance at Eris, her bright smile lifting my spirits. All right, I say, nodding slowly. I trust Eris. Hee. Eris giggles, playfully nudging me with her elbow. Actually, wait here for a moment, Gordon says, turning and heading into the back room. A few minutes later, he returns, holding something in his hands, a weapon. Here, he says, handing it to me. Take this. It's a messer sword, a sleek, single-edged blade still sheathed in its scabbard. The weight feels perfect in my hands, balanced, sturdy, yet surprisingly light. Slowly, I draw the blade, the metal gleaming as it catches the light. Whoa! I gasp, my eyes widening as I take in the intricate wavy patterns etched into the steel. Is that Damascus steel? It's my old sword, Gordon explains, his voice tinged with pride. But it's still sharp and strong. I just sharpened it a few days ago. Consider it my apology for what happened. Thank you, Chef Gordon. I bowed deeply, my heart swelling with gratitude. But are you sure? It must be incredibly valuable. Nah, Eris says with a grin. He's got a whole arsenal of weapons lying around. Exactly. Gordon laughs, waving a hand dismissively. And besides, I'm a chef now. I don't need a sword to slice vegetables. Better it protect you than collect dust in storage. My eyes sting with emotion as I bow again. Thank you so much for this precious gift. I'll teach you some basic sword techniques, Eris says, helping me strap the sword to a baldric that fits snugly across my chest. With a little practice, you'll be able to defend yourself in no time. Yes, I nod enthusiastically, a newfound sense of confidence surging through me. Once the sword is secured, I feel different, stronger, more capable, as if I'm ready to face whatever comes my way. So, how are you feeling now? Better, Eris asks, her voice soft but encouraging. Yes, much better, I reply, nodding firmly. Good, Eris says, her smile widening. Now, shall we head out? And in. With that, we bid Gordon farewell and step outside, the morning light bathing Mistvale in a golden glow. The world feels brighter, safer, and full of possibilities. Hee hee, so you like it? And in. I nod eagerly, grinning from ear to ear. How could I not be excited? I finally have a sword of my own, a messer sword. And the best part? I get to carry it openly for the world to see. How cool is that? It's literally a dream come true, the best gift ever. I can't wait for Eris to teach me some sword skills, so I can be like a badass anime protagonist. As we stroll through the bustling streets of Mistvale, I start noticing something. Everyone seems to be armed to the teeth. Some carry small swords and axes, others lug around massive weapons, almost as big as their own bodies. Sure, oversized weapons are common in anime and games, but seeing them in person? It's different. I can't help but wonder, how heavy are those things? How do they even swing them? And honestly, are they even practical? I glance at Eris, realizing something. Eris, what weapon do you use? I ask, curious since she doesn't seem to be carrying anything. Well, maybe she's hiding them somewhere in her clothes. Who knows? Eris hums, tilting her head in thought. Pretty much everything. Everything. Yeah, swords, axes, hammers, knives, bows, crossbows. I don't think there's anything I haven't tried. Whoa, so you're like a total weapon master? My eyes sparkle with admiration. Eris grins. Yep, you could say that. And what about scythes? Scythes? Yeah, big scythes. Whoosh whoosh. I swing my arms dramatically, mimicking a reaper's motion. The image of Eris wielding a massive scythe, reaping the souls of her enemies like a grim catgirl reaper, flashes through my mind. Oh my, that would be so cool. And, if possible, I want to try wielding a scythe too. However, Eris suddenly bursts into laughter, clutching her stomach. Sure, if your enemies are grass. Wait, they're grass monsters. I gasp, completely serious. Eris nearly doubles over. Of course not, silly. I feel so stupid again. My ears droop as heat rises to my cheeks, which only makes Eris laugh harder. Before I can recover, a massive bear fern strides past us, dragging an absolutely gigantic greatsword behind him. The blade scrapes against the cobblestone, sending an awful grinding sound through the air. I wince and cover my ears with my tiny hands. That thing is enormous. It's easily bigger than both of us combined. A shiver runs down my spine just looking at it. All right, and what about that thing? I point at the oversized monstrosity of a sword. Have you ever tried wielding one of those? Eris shrugs, completely unfazed. Oh, of course. Actually, behemoth swords are one of my favorites. Yeah, really? I narrow my eyes at her, skeptical. I mean, sure, Eris is strong. Her muscles are no joke, but compared to that hulking bear fern, she's just a slim and petite catgirl. I can't exactly picture her lifting, let alone wielding something that massive. Either she's messing with me, or she's way stronger than I thought. What? You don't believe me? Eris tilts her head, arching a playful eyebrow at my skeptical expression. I giggle, shaking my head. Nah, I mean you're strong, but that thing looks insane. I gesture toward the massive greatsword still scraping against the cobblestone behind the bear fern. Eris smirks. That kind of smirk, the one that practically screams I'm about to prove you wrong. She crosses her arms, leaning in slightly. All right, I'll show you one day. You'll see. I grin. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. If she's serious, and she can actually wield a weapon like that, oh my gosh, that would be so cool. Moments later, we find ourselves standing in the heart of Mistvale's bustling street food market. Whoa, there's food everywhere. My eyes go wide as I take in the chaotic, mouth-watering scene before me. Stalls stretch endlessly down the street, each one sizzling, roasting, or frying something that smells absolutely divine. My nose is immediately assaulted by the most glorious mix of scents, grilled meats, rich spices, sweet pastries, and something crispy and savory that I can't even begin to describe. It's like I've died and gone to fantasy food heaven. Everywhere I look, something delicious calls my name. Vendors flip skewers of smoky, charred meat over open flames, their rich, tangy barbecue glaze dripping onto the sizzling grill below. A nearby stall boasts crispy filet wings, slathered in a sweet and spicy honey glaze that has me weak in the knees. And the pastries, oh my goodness, the fluffy moondust cakes are bigger than my head, dusted with powdered sugar that glitters like tiny stars. There are buttery flower-shaped rolls, their soft petals oozing with melted herb butter, and pies so golden and flaky that they practically glow. Just when I think I've seen all, my gaze lands on the more exotic offerings. A bubbling pot of bright pink snail simmers in some mysterious sauce that looks like molten lava, so probably extremely spicy. And then, oh gods, deep-fried Tarantulian spiders. Each one is as big as my palm, battered and skewered, looking like something straight out of a horror movie. My stomach flips just thinking about it. Definitely not touching that. But aside from the terrifying arachnid cuisine, everything else looks amazing. The portions are huge, the smell's intoxicating, and my stomach feels like it's about to riot from sheer excitement. Brrrr. It is rioting. Ay. I wail, clutching my head in dramatic agony. Eris, help me. Eris turns to me, one eyebrow raised. What's wrong now? There's too much food. I don't know what to try first. I exclaim, my eyes darting wildly between the dozens of tempting stalls. My stomach growls so loudly I swear people down the street can hear it. Ha ha, is that so? Eris laughs, clearly amused. All right, follow me. I'll take you to one of my favorites. Her grin is so wide, so full of excitement, that I don't even hesitate. Yes, let's go. I squeal, practically bouncing after her. And just like that, Eris grabs my hand and pulls me through the chaotic maze of food stalls and hungry people. We pass so many vendors selling so many amazing-looking dishes, my stomach protesting with every step. But Eris seems to have a very specific place in mind. After what feels like an eternity of navigating through the crowd, we finally stop in front of a small, unassuming stall sandwich between two much flashier setups. Above it, a simple wooden sign reads, Schleimfisch. Unlike the other stalls, which have colorful banners, bright lanterns, and vendors shouting about their food, this one is humble. No decorations, no gimmicks. But the line in front of it is huge. At least 30 people are waiting, tailing down the street. And the best part? Nearly every single person in line is a cat furin. Yeah, we cat furins go crazy for this stuff. Eris grins, beaming with pride. This is our signature dish. Felicia, you have to try it. She turns to me with so much excitement in her eyes, I can't even think about saying no. Quick, get in line before it gets any longer. Before I can even process what's happening, Eris pulls me into the line, practically vibrating with excitement. She's bouncing on her feet like a kitten about to get a treat, her tail flicking impatiently. Oh, I can't wait. It's been forever since I last had Schleimfisch. She wipes away the bit of drool forming at the corner of her mouth. Seeing her react like this, I can't help but feel my own excitement skyrocket. If this is a dish that drives catgirls wild, heck yeah, I need to try this. However, something isn't right. What is that weird smell? Ch. Eris moans happily, hugging her cheek with one hand, eyes closed in pure bliss as she savors her portion of Schleimfisch. Her tail swishes lazily, her entire body radiating satisfaction. But me? Yuck! Just one whiff, and I feel my stomach do a full somersault. What kind of unholy abomination is this? The dish before me is beyond horrific. It's literally rotten fish innards, mixed with some kind of slimy, mucousy substance until it resembles a giant booger. And if that wasn't bad enough, it's drenched in a pungent, fishy brine so strong it feels like it could melt my nasal lining on contact. And the texture? Oh gods, it's a full-blown nightmare. The gelatinous mass glistens ominously, wobbling with a sickening wet sheen. It jiggles like it's alive, slopping off the spoon in slow motion, as if it's plotting its escape. And yet, Eris and the other catgirls around me are devouring it like it's the greatest dish ever created. Some mix it into their rice, others are just gulping it straight from the spoon without a second thought. I don't understand. How? How is this possible? I glance down at my own bowl of schleimfish rice and dread pools in my stomach. There's no way this is edible, right? Every time I move my spoon, the schleimfish makes this sticky, slopping sound that sends a violent shudder down my spine. Imagine natto, but worse. Why am I doing this to myself? I didn't even survive my first bite of natto back on Earth, and now I'm staring down this culinary nightmare. Oh, I whimper, my lower lip trembling. Eris, I can't. But Eris just beams at me, completely unfazed. Huh? Why? Just take a bite. You like it? Yeah, you like it. The other catgirls chime in enthusiastically, their eyes wide and eager. And now, all their eyes are on me. Ah, I'm so screwed. Damn it. How'd I even get here? On one hand, I don't want to die. But on the other, if I don't eat this, they're going to revoke my catgirl membership. I'll be labeled a fraud, a catgirl imposter. I swallow hard, my gaze locking onto the wobbly, jelly-like fish on my spoon. It jiggles ominously, like it's daring me to eat it. All right, I steel myself because I've decided. Even if it kills me, I'll do it for the catgirls. My hand is literally trembling as I scoop up a tiny, pathetic amount, barely a teaspoon's worth. I brace myself for the inevitable. Felicia, you got this. Eris cheers, her eyes sparkling with excitement. She pinches her nose with a grin. If the smell's too much, just block it like this. All right, that might actually help. Maybe. I follow her lead, pinching my nose tightly while my other hand, shaking like a leaf in a storm, shovels the spoon into my mouth. The moment the schleimfish hits my tongue, I freeze. Ah, it was a mistake. I want to cry so bad. The texture is beyond comprehension. Slimy, slippery, and clinging to every corner of my mouth like an alien life form. It wiggles and oozes, refusing to go down easily. And the flavor, salty, too salty, like I just took a mouthful of the ocean. But then, something changes. In just seconds, my taste buds adjust, magically. The overwhelming saltiness fades, replaced by a deep, rich umami goodness. Oh damn, I exclaim, my eyes wide with shock. It's not bad. I blink, barely believing my own words. Actually, it's kind of good. See? I told you. Eris grins, looking smug as hell. Yeah, way. The other catgirls burst into applause, cheering like I just performed a heroic feat. But still, I'm so confused. Am I tripping or something? I take another whiff. Yup, the smell is still eugh. The texture is still nightmare fuel. But the taste? The taste is so good it somehow overrides all the grossness. And so, I scoop up another bite of schleimfish and rice. I gag again. But the moment it hits my tongue, my body trembles in pleasure. It's so good. So good. I just can't stop eating. Nom 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 nom. Yuth. I'm basically gagging and stuffing my face at the same time. This is ridiculous. How can this be? The most nasty, tasty food ever. And just like that, in no time at all, my bowl is empty. My spoon clatters against the bottom, the sound echoing like a battle bell, signaling the end of an impossible fight. Whoa, that was something. I gasp, my whole body still trembling from the experience. Beads of sweat drip down my forehead like I've just woken up from a horrifying nightmare. I can't believe it. I actually survived that dish. So that was schleimfish, the legendary catgirl food. Definitely an acquired taste. I slump back, wiping the sweat from my brow, my mind still reeling. Now that I think about it, it reminds me of something from Earth. Stinky tofu. I tried it once. The smell still haunts me to this day. They say the worse it smells, the better it tastes. But this is like stinky tofu x10, with extra nightmare fuel on top. With that terrifying ordeal behind me, We say our goodbyes to the group of cat girls and cat dudes and continue our morning quest for delicious food. I try other dishes, kebabs, wings, skewers sizzling with juicy meat. But after eating schlimefish, everything else tastes bland. I blink in disbelief. Did that dish just ruin my taste buds? Eris giggles, clearly enjoying my distress. Hee, that's the side effect. It just shows how awesome schlimefish is, she beams. Yeah, I groan, dragging my feet. I don't even know if I want to try that dish again. But at the very least, it's an experience I'll never forget. After devouring schlimefish and a variety of other dishes, Eris and I continue wandering through the bustling streets of Mist Vale's morning food market. But now, I need something sweet, something refreshing to cleanse my poor taste buds after that questionable experience. Eris, I whine dramatically, clutching my stomach like a damsel in distress. I need something sweet to save me. Is there any good dessert around here? Eris hums thoughtfully, tapping her chin. A dessert, huh? Let's go look around. In. I nod eagerly. With that, we dive back into the sea of food stalls, weaving through the crowd. My eyes dart around like a kid in a candy store, scanning for something light, fluffy, and sweet. And then, I see it. A milk stall. Not just any milk stall. A vendor selling fresh, ice-cold milk. My eyes light up like fireworks. Look, I exclaim, tugging on Eris's sleeve. Milk! It's cold milk! Oh, good eyes. Eris grins, following my gaze. We hurry over, and right away, something even cooler catches my attention. Behind a vendor, another man is working with a glowing blue crystal, mist swirling around it like tiny snowflakes. He pours water into a mold, taps it to the crystal, and whoosh, the water freezes instantly into solid ice. Whoa! I gasp, clinging to Eris's arm. What is that? Eris chuckles at my amazement. It's an ice magic crystal, she explains. They're found inside dungeons. Just a little touch and bam, instant ice. Oh, my jaw drops. So that's how they make ice in this world. Honestly, who needs a refrigerator when you have magic this good? We quickly join the line, and when it's our turn, the vendor greets us with a cheerful grin. Hey ladies, would you like some cold milk? He asks, motioning to a lineup of frosty milk bottles. We've even got ice cream if you're in the mood for something sweeter. Wait, ice cream? The freaking ice cream? My entire world shifts. I grab Eris's shoulders, shaking her slightly. Did he just say ice cream? Eris laughs. Yep, it's a popular treat, especially in the summer. I turn back to the vendor, eyes blazing with excitement. And sure enough, there it is. A row of big, colorful buckets sit in a frosty bath of ice, each filled with different flavors of ice cream. Milk, chocolate, berries, so many colors. They actually have ice cream in this world. I'm about to cry. Then the choice is obvious. Ice cream, please, I say, practically bouncing with excitement. All right, 2 ice creams for us, Eris adds, grinning. The vendor nods. And what flavors would you like? I stare at the buckets of colorful ice cream, scanning each one curiously. None of the names make any sense to me, so I go with the one that matches my favorite color. I'll have a reddest one, please. Oh, rhoderberry, huh? Nice choice. Eris winks before pointing at another bucket. I'll take the blue one. Azureberry, please. The vendor scoops up our ice cream, drizzles some thick, glossy syrup over the cones, and hands them to us. And just like that, voila, ice cream. I cradle mine carefully, as if holding the world's greatest treasure, then take a tentative lick. The moment my tongue meets the creamy ice cream and that sweet, tangy syrup, MNNHHHH. It's delish, I exclaim, practically melting from happiness. This is exactly what my taste buds needed. The flavor is basically just strawberry ice cream, like the ones back on Earth, only a bit creamier. But hey, ice cream is ice cream. It's the best thing ever invented. Not bad, Eris says, licking her own cone. Then, she turns to me with a playful smile. Felicia, want to try mine? My ears perk up. Oh, can I? Of course. Rhoderberry is good, but not mind-blowing. Maybe azureberry is better? It's so blue. I wonder if it tastes like blueberries? Thus, we switch cones, and I take a curious lick of the blue syrup. MHH. I knew it. This blue stuff is basically otherworldly blueberries. So you like it? Eris asks, watching me with amusement. I nod, enthusiastically licking away. But then, I freeze. Wait a minute. Hold up. Do we just indirect kiss you again? Ay. I glance at Eris, eyes wide. Oh no, she's licking the exact same spot I just licked. She knows. I panic, spinning around so fast that my cloak whips behind me like a cape. My face erupts into flames, and my ears feel like they're about to explode. I can't let her see me like this. Not again. In a blind attempt to distract myself, I take a massive chomp out of my ice cream. Ay. I groan, tears filling my eyes. My head hurts. A sharp, freezing pain slams into my skull, making my entire tail puff up like a startled kitten. My whole body shivers violently, ears twitching as I clutch my head in pure agony. This is all Eris's fault. And what is she doing? Laughing. She's laughing at me. Now. Eris chuckles, looking smug. You can't just inhale ice cream like that, silly. You'll get brain freeze. She says this while taking a perfectly normal, elegant lick of her cone. Meanwhile, I'm out here dying. Help me. I wail, shivering uncontrollably. Eris just giggles and pats my head. You'll live. She's not even helping. For some stupid reason, brain freeze as a catgirl feels 10 times worse than when I was human. I can't even be mad, though. This ice cream? Totally worth it. Later, by the time we finally exit the bustling food market, the sun hangs high in the sky, signaling noon. And my belly? Stuffed. I'm so full that I don't think I'll need another meal today. Ever. Each step feels a little heavier, my body sluggish from all the food. My tail sways lazily behind me, and all I really want right now is to find a nice shady spot and nap until tomorrow. But there's work to do. We make our way toward the center of Mistvale, where the streets widen into a broad main road that's alive with activity. Vendors call out their final bargains, merchants haggle over goods, and adventurers stride past in heavy armor, some laughing, some arguing, some dragging monstrous carcasses behind them. And after a few more minutes of weaving through the lively crowd, we finally reach our destination, the Mistvale Plaza. This vast, open square is the beating heart of the city. Here, 3 towering buildings dominate the space, standing as symbols of power and governance. The Mistvale Public Office, the Commercial Guild, the Adventurers Guild. According to Eris, these are the only places authorized to issue identity cards. But there's a problem. I have no paperwork, no birth records, no proof of where I come from, no established identity. My chances of getting an ID here? Practically zero. And worse, if they figure out that I have no records, things could go south fast. Without proper identification, I could be flagged as a criminal trying to hide my identity, or worse, a slave with no recognized human rights. The thought alone sends a chill down my spine. Eris, noticing my hesitation, suddenly reaches out and takes my hand, giving it a gentle squeeze. Her grip is warm, steady, and full of confidence. Don't worry, Felicia, she says with a reassuring smile. I glance at her. Previously, she mentioned that she has connections within the Adventurers Guild, that she'll handle everything. I'll be fine, and I trust her. After all, I've already put my life in her hands since the moment we met. Thus, with Eris leading the way, we step forward, straight toward the largest building in the plaza, the Mistvale Adventurers Guild. The Mistvale Adventurers Guild, a towering 5-story structure that dominates the plaza, its architecture both imposing and grand. Massive stone columns flank the entrance, and the entire building hums with the energy of warriors, mages, and rogues alike. Adventurers of all shapes and sizes, humans and ferns, mill about the front, their voices blending into a chaotic symphony of chatter, laughter, and clinking metal. Some are clad in gleaming armor, their weapons polished and sharp. Others were flowing robes, mysterious and poised. Their presence alone radiates experience, power, and a lifetime of battle. The sheer sight of so many seasoned fighters makes my heart race as we approach the entrance. Eris pauses at the giant wooden doors, then turns to me. "Are you ready?" I nod, though deep down I have no idea if I am. My palms feel clammy, my heart pounding, but I follow her inside nonetheless. As we step in, the interior is even more impressive than I imagined. A grand hall stretches before us, alive with bustling adventurers. Some sit at long wooden tables, strategizing or sharing drinks after a long quest. Others gather around quest boards, studying potential jobs with serious intent. Maps and trophies of past expeditions decorate the walls, the entire space designed for those who live and breathe adventure. The hall is divided into 5 major sections. The registration desk, near the entrance on the right, where new adventurers sign up and parties are formed. The quest board, opposite the desk, where adventurers pick jobs based on difficulty and rewards. The item trading area, a space deeper inside, bustling with people bartering weapons, potions, and dungeon loot. The adventurer inquiries section, a serious space for solving disputes, reporting dungeon crimes, or settling loot claims. The dungeon library, a massive, multi-floor library filled with records of past dungeon expeditions, research papers, and ancient texts. Naturally, I expect Eris to take me straight to the registration desk. After all, I'm here for an ID, right? But, to my surprise, she leads me toward the dungeon library instead. We approach the library's front counter, where a tall, slender lizard Furin stands. His posture is flawless, straight, professional. His attire is crisp and sharp, not a wrinkle in sight. His white hair cascades neatly down his back, a stark contrast against the dark green scales peeking through his sleeves. And his golden, slitted pupils? They seem sharp, too sharp, like they see more than what's on the surface. Right now, he's mid-conversation with an adventurer, but the moment he spots us approaching, his expression shifts. Just for a moment. It's subtle, so brief it almost doesn't happen, but I catch it. A flicker of recognition, surprise, interest. Then just as quickly, his face returns to cold, professional neutrality. Without a word, he nods slightly, signaling for us to wait. I take the brief pause to glance at his name tag. Carvin. A few moments later, the adventurer bows slightly, takes his leave, and Carvin's gaze settles on us. He doesn't speak. He simply steps from behind the counter, his movements smooth and precise, and gestures for us to follow. We step past the main library desk, and he leads us toward a small, unmarked door behind the counter. There's no sign, no indication of what lies beyond. My heart skips a beat. This isn't a normal public interaction. I glance nervously at Eris, seeking some kind of reassurance. She simply smiles and gives my hand a gentle squeeze. Together, we step forward. And with that, we vanish from the main hall, slipping through the door into the unknown. We follow Carvin down a dimly lit corridor, the flickering torchlight casting long, eerie shadows against the stone walls. The deeper we go, the colder the air grows, each step echoing in the silence. Step, step. The stillness is suffocating. It feels as if we're descending into some hidden underground lair, like a secret society's forbidden chamber. My mind whirls with questions, my heart hammering against my ribs. From the way Carvin and Eris interact, it's clear they know each other well. Eris wasn't lying when she said she had connections. But why the secrecy? Why bring me here in such a discreet manner? What exactly is going on? After what feels like an eternity, we stop in front of a massive stone door. Unlike the other doors we passed, this one is unmarked. No signs, no symbols, just an imposing slab of cold rock. Carvin presses his hand against it, and with surprising ease, it swings open. I brace myself, half expecting some kind of ominous chamber filled with cloaked figures chanting in the dark. Instead, I blink in surprise. It's just a normal room. A well-furnished lounge, to be exact. Plush couches surround a polished wooden table, and the warm glow of lanterns illuminates the space, casting a cozy ambience. There's even a neatly arranged tray of cookies and candies at the center of the table, as if we're about to have afternoon tea instead of a secret meeting. Okay, definitely not what I was expecting. Please, have a seat, Carvin says politely, gesturing toward the couches. Eris and I settle onto one of the seats, though my mind is still racing. My eyes flick to the cookies, tempted, but my nerves keep me from reaching out. This situation is just too bizarre. Wait here for a moment. Carvin continues with a respectful bow. The Guildmaster will be with you shortly. Wait, Guildmaster? I snap my head toward Eris, my eyes wide. Eris, your connection is the Guildmaster? She giggles, clearly amused by my shock. He surprised? You. If Eris personally knows the Guildmaster, then I'm saved. This is huge. My ID problem? Practically solved. No wonder she was so confident all along. My heart swells with relief and a tiny bit of excitement. This whole time, she had an ace up her sleeve. But there's still one thing I don't understand. If Eris is close to the Guildmaster, why are we meeting them in secret like this? Isn't it obvious? Because we're doing this illegally, Eris says. And she says it so nonchalantly, like this is just another casual Tuesday for her. It's true that I know the Guildmaster, she continues, stretching lazily, but I don't know anyone else. Well, except for Carvin. So we have to be careful. All the rooms and floors of the Adventurers Guild are monitored by magical surveillance devices. Meeting the Guildmaster here, in secret, is a lot safer than doing it in his office or some random public spot. I see, I stammer, feeling an uncomfortable chill creep up my spine. Well, Eris shrugs. There's always the option of getting your ID through the black market. But that's even riskier. We could end up in an even bigger mess than we're already in. What if we're caught? I ask, my voice barely above a whisper. Eris grins, then suddenly, KKKGH. She makes a slicing motion across her throat, mimicking a beheading. Oh shit, is it really that serious? I squeak. Yeah, Eris replies, her grin fading into something much more serious. Her sharp blue eyes darken, and her voice lowers. Forging official documents is a capital offense here. If we get caught, you could literally lose your head for it. And not just you, me, the Guildmaster, Carvin, everyone involved would be at risk. Oh shit, a chill rattles through me, cold and merciless. My stomach drops, and suddenly this whole plan feels much more dangerous than I had realized. Back on Earth, identity fraud was serious, sure. But usually, it meant a few years in prison or a hefty fine. Here, it means death. I stare at Eris, hoping, praying she's just messing with me, that this is another one of her dumb jokes. And then, just kidding. She bursts out laughing, slapping me on the back like she didn't just give me a mini heart attack. Not a death sentence, just a few thousand crowns fine. The Guildmaster will take care of it. Just leave it to him. Oh, so it was just a joke. I squint at her. Damn it. Arf, I wail, flailing my tiny fists against her arm. Eris, don't scare me like that. Ha ha ha. She clutches her belly, laughing so hard she nearly falls off the couch. Your face just now. It was so serious. I swear, I thought you were going to faint. That was adorable. I can't breathe. I cross my arms and turn away with a pout. Still, now that I know we won't be executed on the spot, my nerves settle just a little. The tight knot of anxiety in my chest loosens, and I let out a deep breath. But still, Eris says, finally calming down, getting your ID is really important. Yeah, I nod, the weight of the situation still pressing on me. Without it, I wouldn't be able to work, to earn money, to live freely. Technically, I wouldn't even have basic rights. Without an identity, I'd be treated as a criminal, or worse, a slave. A shiver runs through me. Anyway, I say, turning back to Eris, how can you be so sure he'll help us? Did you bribe him or something? Eris scoffs, leaning back against the couch and folding her arms behind her head. Bribe him? Nah, even if I wanted to bribe him, he wouldn't take it. I open my mouth to ask why, but before I can, the door creaks open. And just like that, my question dies in my throat. A tall, imposing lizard Furin steps into the room. his mere presence thick with authority. His sharp golden eyes sweep over us, calculating, piercing, as if he can see straight through my soul. The air in the room shifts. Heavy, powerful. So this is the guild master. He bears a striking resemblance to Carvin. The same white, spiky hair and dark green scales marking parts of his face. But where Carvin exudes professionalism and calm, this man is on an entirely different level. He's dressed in regal attire, a deep red suit adorned with intricate silver embroidery, with the unmistakable crest of the Mistvale Adventurers Guild emblazoned on his chest. Every stitch, every detail radiates prestige. Large, leathery wings extend from his back, folded neatly, yet their sheer presence adds to his imposing aura. But it's his eyes that freeze me in place. Golden, slitted, piercing, the kind of gaze that demands submission without a single word. The moment those eyes lock onto mine, my entire body goes rigid. My breath catches, my heart stutters, and for a brief second, I feel small. Just how can someone command so much authority in a single glance? I've never felt anything like this before. It's as if his mere presence weighs down the air itself. If he asked me a question right now, I'm certain I'd confess everything, even things I haven't done. This isn't just confidence. This is the weight of undeniable power. Terrifying. Absolute. Authority. However, a few moments later, I'm in NHH. This is so good. I practically meld into my seat, happily munching on cookies, savoring every delicious buttery bite. Who would have thought? The terrifying, imposing guild master who had me frozen with fear just moments ago is actually super nice. Like grandfather-level nice. Turns out, his name is Carlagen Vonderask. Pretty cool, right? But since Eris calls him Carl, I do too. And, as I quickly discover, he's actually Carvin's father. That explains the resemblance. But the surprises don't stop there. Apparently, Carl was an old friend of Eris's father. In fact, Eris's dad once saved his life back in the day, when Carl was still an active dungeon explorer. That experience bonded them, forging a friendship where they would always have each other's backs. It's no wonder Eris came to Mistvale, between Chef Gordon and Guildmaster Carlagen. She has some seriously solid connections here. Carl chuckles, his deep, rumbling voice warm and full of amusement. If you like, Carvin can prepare some extra cookies for you to take home as a nighttime snack. My ears perk up instantly. Yes, please, I exclaim, practically vibrating with happiness. Thank you so much, Guildmaster Carl. And just like that, he's officially my new favorite person. Carl smiles, but then his expression turns slightly more serious as he shifts his attention to Eris. So, Eris, he says, folding his hands together. How can I help you today? Since you requested to meet in secret, I take it this is a sensitive matter. Well, kind of, Eris replies. It's about Felicia. She pauses, then begins explaining everything. Who I am, why I have no ID, and the situation we're in. I stop munching on my cookie, suddenly feeling a little nervous again. This is it, the moment of truth. Moments later, so, as you can see, Felicia lost all of her memories. The only thing she remembers is her name. Eris explains, her tone lighter than the weight of the topic. Ah, I see. Carlagen nods slowly, his golden eyes softening with understanding. That must be very difficult. I lower my gaze, unsure how to respond. Even though I know the truth, that this catgirl's past is a complete mystery even to me, it still feels strange to hear it spoken aloud. So, Carl, Eris continues, leaning forward slightly. Would you be able to help us this time? Felicia needs an ID so she can work. Of course, that won't be a problem, Carlagen replies kindly. And regarding her previous identity, I'll also look into it. Oh, that would be wonderful. Are you planning to search the magic signature archive? Eris asks. Yup, Carlagen nods. We'll start that process once she's registered with the guild. But of course, only if Miss Felicia here is comfortable with it. I blink, caught off guard by his consideration. Well, I don't mind, I reply after a moment. Truthfully, I'm just as curious as anyone about who this body belonged to before I woke up in it. But, what exactly is a magic signature? Oh, think of it like a fingerprint, but magic. Eris chimes in, her tail flicking as she prepares to explain. A magic signature, as Eris describes, is a unique magical imprint inherent to every living being. Unlike fingerprints, which are distinct but completely individual, magic signatures are somewhat hereditary. They carry traces of one's lineage, making them useful for tracking down familial ties or confirming identities. It's similar to how genetic testing works on Earth, except instead of DNA, they analyze the residual magical essence a person naturally emits. I listen intently, fascinated. This world truly operates on an entirely different set of rules. But what if I don't have any magic? I ask hesitantly, a small worry gnawing at me. Eris gives me an incredulous look before bursting into laughter. Felicia, everything has a magic signature, even the smallest blade of grass. Ugh, my ears perk up as realization dawns. Then does that mean I can use magic too? The thought sends a jolt of excitement through me. The idea of wielding magic has been a fantasy of mine for ages. Eris grins. Of course, but that depends on your mana core. Mana core? A whole new wave of curiosity washes over me. I can already tell I need to learn more about this. With that settled, I resign myself to being stuck in the guild's secret chamber for the next 4 hours. Since our little illegal ID registration can't begin until the guild's business hours officially end, all I can do is wait. I'll return to my office for now. If you need anything, just ask Carvin, Guildmaster Carligan says, adjusting the cuffs of his suit. All right. See you later, Carl. Eris replies casually. Thank you, Guildmaster Carl, I add, offering a small bow. Carligan smiles warmly before turning on his heel and exiting the chamber. The heavy door clicks shut behind him, leaving behind an eerie silence. Now it's just me and Eris. Well, 4 hours is a long wait. Eris sighs, stretching her arms overhead. Then, as if on cue, she lets out a deep yawn. Felicia, let's take a nap. The moment she yawns, I do too. Yawn on. Must be my catgirl instincts kicking in because my eyelids suddenly feel like they weigh a ton. Maybe it's the mountain of food I ate earlier or some weird feline genetics. Whatever it is, exhaustion washes over me like a tidal wave. I'm going to move to another couch. I mumble, rubbing my eyes. I attempt to sit up, but before I can even get one foot down, Eris snatches my wrist. No, stay here, she insists. But there isn't enough space for both of us. But I need to hold your hand, Eris exclaims, as if that settles the matter entirely. Oh, right? We did promise to always hold hands when we sleep. I glance at the narrow couch, then at Eris, then back at the couch again. With how little space we have, there's no way we can both fit without ending up in a tangled mess. Before I can voice my concern, Eris suddenly stands up, dusts off her hands, and confidently declares, "Leave it to me." With effortless ease, she walks over to another couch, grips it firmly with one hand, and, lifts it like it's nothing. Then, bam, she sets it down beside ours, aligning them perfectly to create a makeshift double couch. Jumping onto her handiwork with a triumphant grin, she pats the space beside her. Now there's enough space. Let's nap. I blink at her, utterly impressed. That was kind of amazing. Eris just beams. Come on, hurry up. Giving in, I crawl onto the newly expanded couch bed and settle beside her. We lie facing each other, our fingers instinctively intertwining. The warmth of her palm is comforting, steady. Within seconds, Eris's breathing slows, her expression soft and peaceful. And before I know it, I'm drifting off too. And just like that, Eris and I drift off into a peaceful nap. In my dream, it's my birthday, and Eris buys me an entire year's supply of schlimefish. Let's just say, it was a weird dream. But then, as I slowly awaken, my eyes fluttering open. B.A. dump. Our faces are incredibly close. So close that I can feel the warmth of her breath gently brushing against my lips. My heart skips a beat, and in a flash, I flip onto my back, barely suppressing the urge to scream. Holy crap, That was dangerously close. At some point in our sleep, we must have shifted, inching closer without realizing it. We almost ended up kissing. I take a solid minute to calm down, pressing a hand to my racing heart. Slowly, I sit up and glance at the clock on the wall. There's still 2 hours left until business hours end. But now that I'm fully awake, there's no way I can fall back asleep. I sigh, leaning back against the couch. Guess I'll just lay here and watch Eris sleep? And so I do. Oh my, she's beautiful, even in sleep. Her midnight hair spills over the pillow in soft waves, her chest rising and falling in a gentle rhythm. Her face is relaxed, serene, with her lips slightly parted. They look so soft, so delicate. Before I know it, I find myself leaning in, drawn by an invisible force. Just a small, gentle peck. She won't notice, right? But just then, Eris's eyelids flutter. B.A. dump. I jolt back, heart pounding wildly. Damn it, Felicia. What are you doing? She's beautiful. No argument there. But I can't just kiss her like that. Consent. You need consent. I shake my head furiously, trying to banish the dangerous thoughts. That was far too close. There's no way I'm lying down anymore. I need something, anything, to distract myself before I go insane. Then, an idea strikes me. Wait, there's a library here, right? Where there's a library, there are books. Maybe I can ask Carvin to lend me some. That should keep me busy and help me learn more about this world. Good thinking, me. With that plan in mind, I carefully slide off the couch bed, making sure not to disturb Eris. I tiptoe to the door and slip out, silently creeping up the stairs. Step by step, I make my way toward the entrance to the main floor. Carvin had told me that if I needed anything, I could just knock on the door, and he would assist me. So, I take a deep breath and gently knock 3 times. To my surprise, the door opens immediately, and there stands Carvin, his golden eyes calm, his expression as unreadable as ever. Miss Felicia, he greets smoothly. Do you need anything? Ah, yes, I reply, clasping my hands together. I was wondering, could I borrow some books to read? Absolutely, Carvin replies with a warm smile. Anything you need, Miss Felicia. Just let me know what kind of book you're looking for, and I'll fetch it for you. I tap my chin, thinking, what should I read? Then it hits me, magic. I really want to learn about the magic system in this world. Is there a beginner's book about magic? I ask, feeling a bit embarrassed. I'm totally new to it, but I'd love to learn. Oh, so you're looking for something on the basics and fundamentals? Carvin confirms. Yes, exactly. I nod enthusiastically. All right, please wait here for a moment, he says before disappearing into the towering shelves of the library. All right, please wait here for a moment, he says before disappearing into the towering shelves of the library. I fidget with excitement, bouncing on my heels as I wait. Within minutes, he returns, holding a small book in his clawed hands. He hands it to me with a polite nod. I glance down at the cover, reading the title. Arcane, Chapter 1. I blink, tilting my head. What's wrong, Miss Felicia? Carvin asks. Oh, nothing. I laugh sheepishly. It's just smaller than I expected. And it looks so new. For some reason, I had imagined a magic book to be a massive, ancient tome, its pages thick with dust, its leather cover cracked with age, and heavy enough to knock someone unconscious if dropped. But this is just a regular book. Small, neat, and barely a few hundred pages long. Carvin chuckles, amused. Ah, that's just the first chapter copied from the original. The full volume is so large it takes 2 people to carry it. Oh, I see, I say, grinning as I clutch the book to my chest. Thank you so much, Mr. Carvin. My pleasure, Miss Felicia. Good luck on your magical journey. With my precious book in hand, I hurry back down to the cozy basement room. Eris is still fast asleep, her steady breathing filling the quiet space. I carefully hop onto the couch bed beside her, making sure not to disturb her. All right, deep breath. I crack open the book, my heart pounding with excitement, and begin reading the very first page. Arcane, first chapter. The book is surprisingly detailed, yet incredibly easy to understand. To my surprise, the concept of magic itself is quite simple. First, what is magic? Magic is a natural force that has existed since the beginning of time, brought to life through the manipulation of mana, the invisible energy that flows through all living things and the world itself. By harnessing this force, individuals can perform an extraordinary range of feats. Simple spells might allow one to summon a flicker of fire, conjure small orbs of light, or lighten the weight of objects. Meanwhile, more advanced magic can control the weather, manipulate gravity, or create explosions powerful enough to reshape landscapes. The possibilities are endless, limited only by three factors: the amount of mana one possesses, the attribute of their mana core, their knowledge and mastery of magic. Then what is mana core? A mana core functions in a mage's body much like a heart does for the circulatory system. It generates, stores, and circulates mana throughout the body, fueling magical abilities. This core can be strengthened through training, specialized potions, or rare herbs, increasing the user's magical power. Every mana core has an attribute, an elemental affinity that determines the type of magic a person can wield. Most individuals have a mana core with just one attribute, allowing them to cast only one type of magic. For instance, a mage with a fire-type core can cast fire spells, while a mage with a water-type core is limited to water-based spells. And so, how many attributes are there? There are 8 primary attributes known so far: fire, water, earth, wind, space, time, light, darkness. However, in reality, the number of attributes is limitless. Each element can manifest in countless unique forms. Fire, for instance, is not merely fire. It can take the form of healing fire that soothes wounds instead of burning, purifying fire that cleanses curses and impurities, explosive fire that detonates on impact, cold fire that burns without heat. Similarly, water can take different forms: healing water that restores vitality, corrosive water that dissolves matter, cleansing water that removes toxins and curses, ice, a frozen variation with different properties. So far, thousands of mana core variations have been documented, with new ones emerging every day. No two mages are exactly alike, even if they share the same elemental affinity. As I finish reading, I can't help but wonder, what attribute does my mana core hold? So you want to learn magic? Eek! I yelp, practically jumping out of my skin. It's Eris's voice. She startled me right out of my magical daydreams. I was so absorbed in the book that I had completely tuned out everything around me, even Eris, who was lying right next to me. Eris, when did you wake up? I asked, trying to calm my racing heart. Hee, just a few minutes ago, she says with a teasing grin. You know, I love how your brows furrow when you're concentrating so hard. It's adorable. My brows. I blink, touching my forehead, suddenly self-conscious. Do I really do that? Oh, yes you do. Eris chuckles, her tail swishing playfully behind her. But then a realization hits me. Wait a minute. I narrow my eyes. Did you say anything else besides my brows? Yep, she says, that mischievous twinkle in her eye growing even brighter. I said you were very cute. My cheeks ignite instantly. I grab a pillow and smush it over my face. Stop. Stop teasing me like that. I squeak, my voice muffled. Eris laughs, clearly having the time of her life. You blush so easily. That's really cute too. I groan loudly into the pillow before desperately changing the subject. Anyway, I stammer. Eris, can you use magic? What's your mana core attribute? Oh, my attribute, she hums, completely unfazed by my flustered state. Then, casually, as if it's the most normal thing in the world, she says, darkness. I freeze. Did she just say darkness? My jaw drops. I expected something like ice magic considering how piercingly blue her eyes are, but darkness? That on a whole new level of cool. Whoa, that's so awesome. I squeal, practically vibrating with excitement. See, can you show me? I look up at her with wide, pleading kitten eyes. But Eris simply shakes her head, still smiling. Nope. I groan, crushed by disappointment. Please? Just a little. I beg. I plead. I even unleash my deadliest weapon, the ultimate kitty eyes attack. But nothing works. Eris simply smirks, shakes her head, and keeps her lips sealed, her mysterious darkness magic remaining under wraps. So now, I know she can wield darkness magic. But what kind of darkness magic does she have? I have absolutely no clue. Eris won't spill the beans about her magic, which makes me pout a little, but no matter. It's time for me to dive into the world of magic myself. The book already has instructions on how to begin, so I just need to follow along and give it my all. Step 1. Sensing mana. To use and manipulate mana, the first step is to feel it. But apparently, that's easier said than done. Each person can only perceive mana by awakening their senses, and once awakened, everyone's mana perception is unique. For some, mana appears as colorful wisps or a smoky veil hovering around mana-rich things. For others, it's a scent, a distinct sound, or even a flavor. Usually, only one sense awakens per person. When an ordinary sense becomes attuned to mana, it's called a mana sense. Interestingly, race plays a role in which sense awakens. Most cat ferns develop visual mana perception, seeing it as floating lights or glowing waves. Dog, wolf, and mouse ferns often develop a keen smell for mana, like sniffing out a storm before it hits. Lizard ferns? They can taste it with their tongues, which is weird but kinda cool. And for non-fern humans, it's completely random, like rolling a dice to see which sense gets upgraded. Now, how to awaken the mana sense? There are 3 popular methods. Method 1, meditative focus. This one's all about getting zen with it. Deep meditation, sensory isolation, and breathing exercises help tune in to mana's subtle vibe. Sitting in a dark, quiet room with a mana-rich object nearby can speed up the process. Method 2, elemental exposure. This involves surrounding yourself with the element your mana core might resonate with. The problem? Most people can predict their mana attribute based on what their parents had. But I have no idea what mine is. So unless I want to soak myself in every element and see which one clicks, this option is out. Method 3, using powerful drugs. Fast, potent, and kind of risky. The upper class loves this one. Special potions can either heighten all senses or forcefully kickstart the mana sense directly. The catch? These drugs are rare, expensive, and have some wild side effects. Basically, the spicier the potion, the higher the risk. Some people even combine all 3 methods, going full intensity to speed things up. All right, which one should I try? Since I have no clue about my elemental attribute and no magic booster juice, meditation is my best bet. All right, meditation time. I declare, settling into a comfortable position and closing my eyes. Good luck. Eris says, watching me with amusement. She dims the lights, leaving only a single candle flickering between us. Darkness surrounds us, thick and quiet. Ready? She whispers, her voice barely above a breath. In. I nod. Full. Eris blows out the candle, plunging us into complete darkness. All my senses feel heightened now. The lingering scent of melted wax, the rhythmic thump-thump of my heart, the soft rise and fall of Eris's breathing, and the comforting warmth of her fingers intertwined with mine. The book states that it usually takes around 500 hours of deep meditation for someone to awaken their mana sense. With sensory-enhancing drugs, that number drops to 200 hours. Geniuses, however, sometimes achieve it in under 50 hours, with the record being a staggering 10 hours. Hearing that, my competitive spirit flares. Eris, how long did it take you to awaken your mana sense? I whisper. I don't remember exactly, but it was around 100 hours. And she smirks. No drugs, by the way. I gasp. That's twice as fast as the average person. All right, I declare, brimming with determination. I'm going to beat your record. Eris chuckles, squeezing my hand encouragingly. You go, Felicia. You can do it. We go quiet again, and I try to focus. A few minutes pass, and my eyelids start to droop. Before I know it, my body begins to relax, my mind drifting into that sweet, warm abyss of, hey, A soft voice nudges at the edge of my awareness. Hey, wake up. You're supposed to meditate, not nap. All right. I jolt awake, quickly slapping my own cheeks to shake off the sleepiness. Okay, no dozing off. All right, let's try again. This time I focus properly. I follow the instructions carefully. Inhale deeply for 4 seconds. Hold for 2. Then exhale slowly. Rinse and repeat. My breath steadies. My mind quiets. This time, I will stay awake. This time, I will focus. This time, I will awaken my mana sense. After about 10 minutes, in the darkness, tiny, glowing particles start to pop up around me, like delicate flecks of glitter suspended in the air. They're faint at first, shimmering softly, but as I focus, more and more begin to appear, sparkling like stardust. Most of them glow a gentle white, but here and there, I catch glimpses of red, blue, and yellow drifting like lazy embers caught in a breeze. Is this ambient mana? The natural mana floating around in the atmosphere? But then my eyes widen in pure awe. Right where Eris is sitting, a swirling, mesmerizing cloud of deep purple glitter outlines her entire body. The tiny flecks dance and twirl gracefully around her, pulsing softly, as if responding to the rhythm of her breath. And right at her chest, I see it, a concentrated, vivid point of dark light, about the size of a tennis ball, radiating waves of pure energy. Whoa! The book mentioned that a mana core resides in the heart. So that must be Eris's mana core. I think I did it. I whisper, unable to contain my excitement. No way. Eris gasps, clearly stunned. Are you serious? It's only been 10 minutes. No, I'm serious. I'm seeing glitter, sparkly, magic glitter. I babble excitedly. Oh no, it's gone. The tiny lights flicker and fade the moment I lose focus. Dang it. Maybe I got too excited and broke my concentration? Eris chuckles, shaking her head in disbelief. All right, try again. In. I nod, determination flaring. All right, Felicia, second try. Let's make this work. I close my eyes, take a deep breath, and steady myself. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Slowly, surely, the glittering particles begin to reappear, this time brighter and clearer than before. They twinkle around me like a miniature galaxy, filling the air with a quiet, enchanting glow. Heck yeah, this is seriously the coolest thing ever. As soon as I slip back into meditation, the glittering particles return, twinkling in the darkness like tiny stars. They're so beautiful, so magical that I can't help but smile. Oh, I'm seeing mana again. I whisper excitedly. The shimmering lights dim slightly at the sound of my voice, as if reacting to my distraction. I quickly refocus, inhaling deeply, slow and steady, calming my mind. Little by little, the mana grows brighter again, swirling gently around us. But then, I notice something different. Eris's mana is glowing even more vividly than before. Is she actively channeling it this time? All right, Eris says, her voice smooth with focus. I'll move my mana to different parts of my body. You tell me where it goes, so I can make sure you're actually seeing it. Yes, that's a great idea. I nod eagerly. All right, here goes. She takes a slow breath, and right before my eyes, a shimmering stream of mana flows from her heart, branching out like the limbs of a glowing tree. It snakes gracefully down to her right arm. Right arm, I say confidently. Eris's eyes widen. It's correct? Hee, of course. I grin, feeling immensely proud. She still looks a little skeptical. All right again. She shifts her mana. Left arm. That's correct too, she says, stunned. How about this? Left leg. And now. Belly. And now. Both right arm and left leg. And now. Her mana suddenly surges upward, pooling into her eyes. In an instant, her irises glow brilliantly in the dark, deep, mysterious, enchanting. Whoa, your eyes. I gasp, completely mesmerized. They're beautiful. Eris blinks, her glowing eyes flickering softly before dimming back to normal. I can't believe it. You did it, she gasps. You passed the test. You actually broke the record, Felicia, you're a genius. Yee! I throw my arms up, practically vibrating with excitement. World record, heck yeah. With this, the first step of learning magic is officially complete. Easy peasy. Eris, what should I do next? I ask, practically bouncing with energy. She taps her chin thoughtfully. How about trying to see your own mana? Right. I nod, determined. This time, let's see how fast you can do it. I grin. Challenge accepted. Eris explains that this next step is actually the hardest for most beginners. Unlike ambient mana or another person's mana, a person's own mana is much harder to perceive. Since my mana core has never been trained, my own mana is faint, like a wisp of smoke, barely there. There are 4 stages to growing the mana core, she adds. I nod, already recalling what I read in the book earlier. Stage 1. Formless core / invisible core. As the name suggests, at this stage, the core hasn't yet solidified into a defined shape. However, mana starts to concentrate in the chest area, slowly gathering until it condenses into a small, tangible mass. Once the energy compresses into a tiny sphere, about the size of a fish egg, Stage 2 begins. Stage 2. Enlarging core. The newly formed mana core gradually expands, growing larger as it absorbs and refines more mana. Over time, it reaches the size of the heart, stabilizing and becoming more potent. Stage 3. Pulsating core / waving core. At this stage, the mana core synchronizes with the heartbeat, releasing rhythmic pulses of energy. These waves can be so intense that even non-awakened individuals can hear and feel them. Some describe it as a second heartbeat, one not of blood, but of raw, flowing magic. Stage 4. Rebirth, the final and most difficult stage. By initiating the rebirth process, the mana core compresses back down to its smallest form, restarting the cycle from Stage 2. This process lasts anywhere from days to months, during which the individual temporarily weakens before emerging significantly stronger than before. After every rebirth, rings appear on the core's surface, marking the number of cycles it has undergone. The highest recorded rebirth cycle is 7, belonging to an SS-ranked adventurer. This means her mana core has been rebirthed 7 times. With all this in mind, I focus on Eris's mana core once more, examining it carefully. From what I'm seeing, her core is definitely at Stage 2, the enlarging core. But that means she's at least a D-ranked adventurer. Eris, are you sure you're just an E rank? I ask. She tilts her head and chuckles. About that. I advanced a few weeks ago, but I've been too lazy to take the rank-up test, she admits with a shrug. I squint at her. That makes sense. But something feels off. Is it just me? Or is her core unusually bright? A Stage 2 core shouldn't be glowing this vividly. Wait, could have rebirthed? No way. That's impossible. A person with a rebirth core should be at least A rank. Plus, I don't see any rings on her mana core. Maybe my vision is just too sharp, making everything seem brighter than it really is. Either way, it's time to focus on my own mana core. All right, time to form my own core. I announce excitedly. But then, there's a small problem. I will have to look down. However, you don't have to keep looking down at your chest like that. Eris giggles. You'll get a neck cramp. I freeze, feeling instantly flustered. But, how am I supposed to see my own mana core then? I can see mana too. Just leave it to me. As she says this, her eyes begin to glow again, deep, dark amethyst, enchanting and intense. My ears perk up in realization. Oh, that's perfect. How could I forget about that? As a catgirl, Eris's awakened mana sense is also visual. That means she can see mana the same way I do. Oh, this is great. I say, feeling relieved. No more awkwardly craning my neck. Eris smiles. Oh, and by the way, she hums. The world record for forming a Stage 1 core is 2 hours. Think you can beat it? Hee, watch me. I say, my determination blazing. Taking a deep breath, I stretch lightly and sit up straight. This is it, the first step toward magic. Once my mana core forms, I'll finally be able to use magic. I can't help but wonder, what kind of magic will I have? To form my own mana core and complete Stage 1, I need to gather mana from the environment and make it my own. There are 3 primary ways to absorb mana. Breathing it in from the air, the most common method, where mana is drawn into the body through controlled breathing exercises. Ingesting mana-rich potions or foods. This method allows the body to directly absorb mana through digestion. Certain magical plants and elixirs are rich in mana and can drastically accelerate the process. Absorbing through the skin. While technically possible, this method is highly inefficient compared to the first 2. The amount of mana absorbed is negligible unless one is immersed in an extremely concentrated mana-rich environment, such as a mana spring or a ley line convergence. Since I have no magical potions or rare ingredients to eat, and skin absorption is too slow, my only choice is breathing. Yes, just like that. Keep going, Eris encourages. I focus on my breathing, slow, deep inhales, steady exhales. Yet, not every breath catches mana. That's because mana doesn't obey the usual laws of physics. It doesn't flow from areas of high concentration to low concentration like air particles do. One can't simply inhale it like dust or oxygen. Instead, mana is drawn in by 3 specific factors: intent and willpower. Mana is highly responsive to a person's focused intent and will. When someone concentrates on drawing in mana, their mental energy creates a magnetic-like pull that attracts mana particles. Strong intent, visualization, and even emotional energy act as beacons, similar to how a magnet attracts metal filings. Resonant energy. Mana particles are drawn to sources of energy that harmonize with their own frequency, including their own type. For instance, individuals with certain elemental affinities, like fire or water, naturally attract mana particles of those elements. This resonance is also why elemental mana stones form in areas rich in a particular element. As mana of the same type condenses, it crystallizes into magical stones. Mana core presence and density. A developed mana core acts as a natural attractor, pulling mana toward it like a gravitational field. The stronger and more refined the core, the more efficiently it draws in and stores mana. But I don't have a mana core yet. I don't even know what my mana attribute is. That means, for now, I can only rely on willpower. No elemental resonance, no core to assist me, just pure mental focus. I have to command mana to come to me. This is why meditation is so essential. In a meditative state, the mind is at its most powerful, and intention is at its sharpest. Theoretically, this should allow me to gather mana effectively, even without a core. I take a deep breath, my eyes locked onto the tiny, twinkling mana particles around me. I try to match my breathing to their gentle rhythm, picturing myself as a magnet, pulling in mana from the air. With every inhale, I will the mana to flow toward me. Now, let's see if this works. At first, there's little response. Only a faint trickle of mana drifting toward me. A single particle, then another, then a few more. It feels like trying to cup water with my bare hands, the mana slipping away just as quickly as it comes. But gradually, something changes. More and more particles begin to swirl around me, drawn in by my breathing, by my will. A dozen turns into 100, then 1,000. Before long, I feel the entire room responding to me. The mana in the air forming a vortex, spiraling gently in my direction. With every inhale, mana flows into my body, cool and weightless, yet full of potential. It gathers in my chest, filling me with warmth, a spreading heat that pulses in rhythm with my heartbeat. My senses sharpen. A rush of energy surges through me, a clarity, a euphoria unlike anything I've ever known. Then all at once, I feel it. The mana inside me condenses, coming together, merging, forming something new. A surge of energy ignites within my chest, and in a single, powerful burst, an explosion of warmth floods my core, signaling its birth. My mana core is formed. I can't believe it. You did it. Eris exclaims, eyes wide with shock. Oh, really? I gasp, still catching my breath. Yeah, your mana core. Even though I can't see it, I can feel it, small, fragile, but undeniably real. A tiny sphere of energy, no bigger than a fish egg, resting deep within me. And the craziest part? It only took 10 minutes. I completely shattered the record Eris mentioned, which was 2 hours. Now that I think about it, while I'd love to believe I'm some kind of prodigy, there's likely another explanation for this. My body, or more precisely, this catgirl body. Eris, could it be that I already knew how to use mana, and I'm just remembering how? I ask, voicing my suspicion. Eris's eyes light up. That could be possible. But if that's the case, shouldn't you have already had a mana core without needing to form one? Right, that's true. If this body already knew magic, then why was my mana core completely absent when I first arrived? Shouldn't it have been here all along? Or, Eris muses, tapping her chin, could it be that your mana core was destroyed before? That might explain the memory loss. Destroyed? I frown. That's an unsettling thought. There's a theory about that. Eris continues. The mana-soul theory. Mana, soul, theory. I repeat, my ears twitching with curiosity. Yeah, she nods. There was this crazy old mage who proposed that the mana core is linked to the soul, that the soul itself is like a collection of memories, and if the mana core is destroyed, the soul could be damaged too. I stiffen. The soul? While Eris brushes it off as just a theory, I know for a fact that souls exist. After all, I'm a reincarnated soul, living in someone else's body. A chill runs down my spine as an unsettling thought creeps into my mind. If I'm here now, then, what happened to the original Felicia? Where's her soul? Eris sighs, shaking her head. Forget it. I've never heard of anyone surviving after losing their mana core. Anyway, it doesn't make sense, right? Maybe I'm just overthinking it. For now, there's something far more important to focus on. All right, let's keep going. I want to see what your attribute is. Eris says, her excitement returning. Right, my attribute. Even though my mana core is formed, the true color hasn't revealed itself yet. I close my eyes, steadying my breath once more. The mana swirling inside me slowly transforms, shifting from raw energy into something uniquely my own. It's subtle at first, but I can feel the shift. My very own attribute is about to awaken. But then, Eris freezes. Her eyes widen, her mouth slightly open, her expression shifting into something between shock and disbelief. What is that color? She murmurs, her voice barely above a whisper. My heart stutters. Is something wrong with my mana core? I ask, suddenly nervous. Eris stares at me, eyes locked onto my chest where my core is forming. No, your mana core is fine. But she hesitates, her brows furrowing deeply. It's just this color. I've never seen anything like it before.